Crew, Blonde Way Back. I'm Aaron.
I'm Jen.
I'm Jake.
And we are here with our spoiler review to be able to talk about all the things in this Superman movie that just came out this week from James Gunn and the whole new DC. Yeah, I don't know what they're calling this.
Yeah, I don't think they have a technical name yet.
The Gunniverse. I don't know.
You tell us.
Yeah, I think maybe Gunniverses might be what it's called for now.
Is it? Have you heard that?
It's gonna be.
We're making it a thing.
I hate you.
But we had a non-spoiler review, so if you don't want spoilers, you can check that one out, kind of get our general thoughts of the movie. But in this one, we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff in the movie, things we liked, didn't like, if we caught any kind of cool nods towards other stuff. So you should click away now. But for everyone who stayed, welcome. And what do you guys want to get into first? Do you guys want to start from the beginning? You guys want to jump into something that's on your mind right away?
No, let's do the very beginning because I love
Good, because I missed it.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
I came into Superman on the ground being licked by a doggy.
Oh, well, I mean, what a great beginning though.
Well, you missed the first,
The
text to kind of explain where we're at.
Yeah, Melanie leaned over to me and was like, this is something Peruvian or something. I don't know what she said. She said something, and I'm like, the what? What are you talking about? And then I just started watching, and I'm like, all right.
All right, so I guess I'll just tell you what it says is best by memory.
Yeah, but yeah.
So it starts off with 300 years ago, metahuman showed up.
Okay.
30 years ago, an alien landed on the planet and was picked up by Nebraska farmers.
Oh, okay.
3 years ago, Superman made his debut. 3 hours ago, was it 3 hours ago that he...
No.
3 days ago?
There was 3 months ago, maybe, was him going to do the thing
the war with the cat.
Yeah,
the war thing.
He stopped the Boravian conflict with the other country
We
that
might
I
have
cannot...
Some of the P. The B country and the P country.
Yeah, I think it was KP, but the K was kind of silent.
Yeah, okay.
And then 3 minutes ago, Superman lost his first fight. And then that's when he landed.
And he crashes.
Yeah.
So it's all text that it opens with, and then he crashes and he's being licked by a dog?
Yeah.
And
he crashes, and you see him lay there for a little bit, and then he whistles, which I think you might have seen in a trailer.
Yeah, because that was like one of the trailers they did of him
and
crashing.
Then Krypto runs up and is Krypto.
Mm-hmm.
But what I loved about it is that even though we might get some of the... Tell us if we got it wrong, but some of it... It was easy to remember because it was 3. It was
all threes.
It was all 3, and it went from 300 years to 3 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, that's what I was writing.
That's why
You're
you
like,
write all these threes.
Yeah.
And then I love when the Krypto scene happens at the very beginning. I just looked at Jake. I was like, it's the very first scene. We're not spoiled.
Yeah, because that was like an extended look, and
you would just assume it's in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. It doesn't seem like him crashing to the planet is the thing you have at the start of the movie.
Him being that hurt.
Unless you play one of those 2 days earlier things, which they didn't do.
I was starting to think that that's what they were gonna do, and because in the trailer it said he lost to the Hammer of Boravia.
Yeah.
Which is he then goes back and fights. So I was like, okay, maybe. And I know in the trailers we saw the Hammer of Boravia. It's like the mech thing we saw, but I recognized it through the trailers and people talking about it. Like, okay, so that's the Hammer of Boravia. So when the text came up, I was like, but I know he fights him because it's in the trailer. Are we going back in time? I didn't expect it to go through the whole sequence of him going back to the Fortress of Solitude, healing, and then going back to fight him. Which, the Fortress of Solitude was so cool.
It was pretty cool. I liked how it could sink back in. I liked the sun thing. I was like, oh cool, a sun magnifier. That's neat. And then it was like,
Yeah, I loved how it turned to catch the sun the most it could.
I love Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
I heard his voice. I was like, is that him? Didn't even have to say who. Is that him?
Yeah. I did the same thing. I'm like, oh, that sounds like Alan. And then there was something, I think it was with the dog. Mm-hmm. Where he was like, and he knows we won't care to feed him or something like that. And I was like, that's Alan. Yeah. There was some kind of little attitude he had with him.
Yeah, it was very... it felt very K2SO kind of attitude thing, kind of the dry...
Or Resident Alien, it also reminded me of that, too.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that. So yeah, so then we do that, which we get to see Superman heal for the first time in live action, probably, right?
He's gone up to the sun.
Yeah.
In, was it Christopher Reeves, maybe even?
Maybe one of those. Because I really only remember one. I know I've seen 2 and maybe 3, but I don't really remember them.
But especially as far as live action, maybe.
Well, I haven't seen Superman.
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to remember. I feel like the sun has been used for healing for some Superman.
Well,
live
I
action
guess I should rephrase. It's the first time I think we've seen it be used like that.
I mean, I've never seen like a magnifying glass from the fortress
to, like,
doing all
amplify
that stuff.
it. Yeah.
And it felt like we could hear bones popping back.
Yeah, like there was a lot of popping and shifting and moving because like he had some major severe injuries.
Yeah, and then they only got him to like, what was 80% or something?
Yeah, they're like,
80%.
you're only at like 80% and you lost to him at 100.
Yeah,
you know?
I think usually in live action, if they've used it, he's gone into space or like gone to the sun.
Yeah.
And gotten powered from the sun and like close
That's what
to
I'm
it.
thinking of.
But I also really love the fact that like he's majorly messed up, goes and heals, and immediately is like, all right, I got to get back to that fight, you know?
Yeah.
While the Hammer of Boravia is monologuing to the tower.
Yeah. Yeah. We cut to that and I was like, what's going on here? And why are those guys just chill with everything? And then I'm like, this is all a Lex thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how I feel about Lex 100% because I kind of liked him, but I also kind of didn't like him. Like, but this may also just be because like we skip. It's like having a Spider-Man movie where it's like when we don't need to see him get bit, we don't need to see the Uncle Ben thing.
Yeah.
We skip like him landing and going to like the parents and the parents taking care of him for years, and then we don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Which like I think Man of Steel touched on that, and Christopher Reeves ones touched on that and stuff. But we've had him for what was it, 3 years or whatever Superman's been around or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years.
So like whatever the debut was. Or
3 years was the
3 years.
debut of Superman.
That time of Lex, like maybe that's some of the. I like him more than I did. Who's the one?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. I didn't like him very much.
I don't think that's hard to. That was just a weird choice.
Yeah. But I don't know. There was no time when I liked Lex, whereas like some other Lex Luthors, like there's still times when I'm like, oh man, he's got some kind of charisma factor that I do like. Whereas this one was just kind of like
Michael Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum.
Yeah, Michael Rosenbaum, Gene Hackman. I think like there's still times like, oh man, I love watching. This one is like, I hate this guy. I just want to punch him in the face.
He was sinister.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause I thought you were talking like you didn't enjoy the character, like the way it was written or like acted.
It's more of like I never wanted to agree with him. I never wanted to like him.
Yeah.
Like I never he's always up to something. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another time we get a Lex where I'm this Lex where I'm like, well, maybe him and Superman could work together, you know? Because this guy just seems to be.
Oh, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, we could go to the point where like
We could.
Somehow he's gonna come back from this PR nightmare because Lex somehow always does, and maybe we get a point where he's like president or something, and he really shows everything he's doing is trying to be for the better of humans, but that was not this Lex. Mm-hmm. But maybe an older Lex we get that.
But he had his little like cult following, and I'm like, why are you guys following this guy?
That's what I want to know is how did he get all these geniuses on board with killing Superman? Mm-hmm. You know, because
I don't know.
This Lex is terrible, but I really enjoyed watching him puppet the Hammer of Boravia, who turned out to be Ultraman. I really enjoyed the fact that he's watched Superman so much that he's programmed in all these moves.
Yeah, he knows like 27A.
Yeah,
36B.
And like
Jeez,
that
man.
is so like one of them was like 60 something or like a high number in Z. So he has hundreds of these.
Yeah, what did they say? He has over 2,500 fighting moves.
Yeah.
And he has them memorized.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And then he can do them.
And he can call them at will by watching what Superman's doing and being like, this is the counter move now.
Yeah.
This is the counter move now.
So like immediately it sets Lex up to like, because always the question is how's the genius going to deal with it? Well, his genius extends to the fact that he can study Superman's moves and he knows what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. You know, so he can call out these moves way ahead of time and use the the meat shield that he uses in this situation to be the one who, deals out the actual damage because he can't.
Sure.
To go back to the team of like why is this team following him? I think we kind of see it not with the team. The team never explains it, but we see it with the government when they love Superman. They're scared of Superman, and it's so easy to manipulate fear.
Sure. Yeah.
So like, what if Superman turns evil? What if Superman is here for evil reasons? What if Superman doesn't save you? Easy to get someone to be like, well, then let's take him down and put him in prison where we know he can't harm anybody. So I can easily see like, yeah, I'll follow that.
Sure. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
They just don't cover it. That's me filling in holes.
Sure. I mean, the government talks about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like if that, general, whoever felt that way, who else feels that way, where it's the, we've been watching, what was it? It was Avengers, I think. And there's like a character who's not necessarily liked by the city, but this person has talked to like, I've talked to firefighters who has been saved by you, or I've talked to people on the street who have like seen you in action and they know like why you're there and what you're doing. And it's kind of like, what was his name? Molly, maybe? He was in the newspaper at the end, right? But he was the guy who was like, he gave him falafel or whatever he said, and he went there and was like picking him up and like that guy's like, I know what you're here for, and like that's why I gave you falafel and you helped me with this and that, and like he's one of the people that know why he is Superman.
Has the experience.
Yeah.
Compared to people who might be a little scared of it, and then Lex seeing it and manipulating it for his own desires.
Yeah, him weaponizing it.
Weaponizing it is a good term.
Which we also get. So we get the Hammer of Boravia early, and we find out that's Ultraman, which I don't know if I knew Ultraman was in this movie at all. I know like we saw glimpses of him in the trailers, but I don't know if it was ever enough for me to know it was Ultraman. So I was very surprised to get Ultraman.
Yeah.
But also we got the engineer early when she was spying on the fortress.
Was running through the snow.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here?
And
alone.
Yeah, and whatever he did to get her on his side, because like it's one thing to get the guys in the control room to do it. I would be really interested if we get more engineer down the line of like why she is so willing to go through this procedure to get these nanites.
She says about I gave up my humanity to fight him.
Yeah. So like that's something I would like to see explored in the future is like why did she give up her humanity and why did
she didn't die?
At the end, whenever they went down there, they said like, she's unconscious, but her heart's still beating.
Yeah.
I was like, how are you gonna get that? She's dead. No, you're right.
Yeah, she was unconscious.
Yeah, so we should still have her somewhere around.
Yeah, I would love to hear her story.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I searched. She was saying some things that we say in Puerto Rico, and I was like, is she Puerto Rican? She's the Venezuela, so that's pretty cool too.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, I know those words. Hijo de what? She almost cursed.
Also, I was not ready for Bradley Cooper to be Jor-El.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, I was staring, I'm like, who's that guy? I know that guy. And I was like, I couldn't pick him out right away. And then like in the credits, like, damn, it was Bradley Cooper? That's who that was? Because he's only there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
it's just the tape playing.
Yeah.
But I was not ready for Bradley. It makes sense because like James Gunn does like to include, just like Adam Sandler. He like the people he likes and he's friends with, he likes to include them in movies. And, so him getting just a spot there after being Rocket for 3 movies and the Christmas special, like, I get it. But now I'm like, man, they got Bradley Cooper. We could do stuff with Jor-El in the future with Bradley Cooper.
Good,
That would be cool.
I don't know I know James doesn't want to do, like, the actual moment of, like, sending Superman away. Like, he's talked about seeing some of these origin stories enough. But, you could use Bradley Cooper in setting up Zod in the future, or...
Sure, you have a flashback
some of the
throwing
other,
Zod into the...
Yeah, some of the other Kryptonians that might come around. Yeah, that's Lara. That's his Jor-El's wife. We have the
Do you
cast
recognize
list.
who that was? Sorry, yeah, this is the cast list. She's from
Westworld?
Westworld.
Oh, yeah.
She's Clementine.
Yeah.
I didn't
say that. I'm like, okay.
I didn't recognize.
Because I was like, I know her, but I couldn't place her while we were watching it.
Yeah, I didn't recognize Laurel. So then we get the Hammer of Boravia fight, which we get the Malik helping Superman up, which is great to see. I don't think it's ever going to get old watching regular people help superheroes in moments. You know, the Spider-Man 2.
The train.
Yeah, the train, him helping him up. I'm blanking on some of the other ones. But they're very common, especially in, like, New York, you know, movies. Like the other Amazing Spider-Man, the crane operators swinging their cranes around. I don't think that's ever going to get old in movies. So I love just seeing it there.
And we got it in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
It's nice to have, like, the normal people trying to do what they can to help the superhero overcome whatever the obstacle is, the evil. Or whatever,
and then, like, to have the fear as a human being to be, like, you can be squashed in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But Malik runs to where Superman was.
Yeah.
And, like, come on, sir.
After he makes sure that the guy will watch his stuff, too. Right?
Yeah.
I did like that. Hey, you watch this? Yeah, okay.
I just love that moment of, like, pure humanity.
Yeah.
Pure humanity of helping another person.
Well, and I mean, that's what the movie is just humanity and hope. And that's the core of Superman, and it's something I think we've been missing in our Superman movies for a little bit, you know?
Sure. There's a lot of, I do like a lot in this where, like the Lois interview, that's like getting into like, well, sure, you did this, but did you stop a war?
Yeah.
You know, like, did you beat up some tanks and some planes, like, you know, destroyed some planes and tanks and some other stuff, and like he goes over that, it's like, yeah, but did you stop the war? Did you talk to their president? Did you talk to our president? What'd you do? You know, so it comes to more of like, you can't always just beat things up.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's like other things you have to do too. It's like, well, I put him on a cactus, you know. Like,
so torture?
I really, really loved the interview, and I think that might have been my favorite Lois stuff in the movie, because it really felt like she was a seasoned reporter that was like ready on her toes to counter anything he had and bring up points and ask and know where to ask to pull out some of these answers.
And didn't let personal things limit her.
Yeah. You know, you felt
That's
like
Lois
Lane. You felt like, oh yeah, she's won awards and she's got stuff out of people that she shouldn't have before.
Yeah.
And
well, like there's times whenever she asked a question, it's like, you know this. It's like, not on the record, I don't know this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm asking you a question because this is what I would ask you if I was just interviewing you.
Yeah.
Separate from knowing who you are and what you've done or whatever.
And I know I think it was done in some of the promotional materials, but I really loved in that very beginning of that interview where he makes the Cronkite joke, but then he leans in and he just is Superman suddenly. You know, his voice lowers and his pitch changes and like the tone of his voice changes, and it's very much the moment feels like when Christopher Reeve's like fully expands
Shifts
out, you know, and he shifts out. But he just did it vocally there, you know, and it was really, really entertaining. And it was also, I really loved the way she pushed him. We got to see Superman pushed emotionally that we don't get to see as often in a place where he's not having to fight through it. It's just him expressing himself, and it was really effective to really like they were going to kill people. Yeah.
He was saying.
Yeah, you really convey like the Boy Scout there, you know, of like consequences be damned. He's gonna do the right thing, and and whatever comes of it, as long as he does what he thinks is right, that's what's gonna happen, you know. And sometimes that's not always the best, but as he said, people are going to die.
Yeah.
You know, and that's Superman, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it pairs so well, too, because in that conversation, they're talking about, like, you know, there's, like, the terrible regime here, and they're just going to be taken over by another terrible regime here. It's like, you know, what are you doing, and are you helping them, or what's, you know, whatever's going on. I do like that by the end, you have, like, all these kids, like, they're doing like the what is it? Is it Iwo Jima or what? Like that flag like statue.
Yeah.
Like there's like 6 kids that are pushing the flag up like that kind of moment, and it has the Superman like symbol on it. Yeah. And I thought that was really good. And then they're like super, and then everyone else starts chanting.
Yeah.
And I was like, they do want him to come help. You know, like I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's very, very real life politically coded for a couple of things that are going on in real life right now.
Sure, yeah. And I don't know if it was like, I don't know if it's fully intended to be. I don't know if it's just kind of like it happened to be. I don't know.
It's
because this has been in the works for a little while.
Yeah, but it's also a conflict that has also been going on for a very long time. It's just very complicated and hard to talk about, especially if you don't know it really well, and it's really hard to understand unless you really, really have somebody that can help you through it. And even then, it's very difficult to like comprehend. So it's I personally think it was intentional that it was leaning that way. And I think it was very effective in what it did in putting some of these issues in a superhero movie. And what happens if you throw a Superman into the mix of these conflicts and how people respond to that?
Yeah. Or a Guy Gardner.
Yeah, or a Guy Gardner. I do want to roll back just a little bit. Before we got the Lois interview, we did get our first look at him as Clark, which we didn't get a lot of, but I do think he was really good as Clark. You know, like him having his hair curlier and, you know, the glasses and him being kind of like uncoordinated and goofy. Yeah. But then we get the first look at, that's when we get our first look at Lois, our first look at Jimmy, who I really enjoyed Jimmy for his tiny little screen time. And I also love that, like...
And Perry.
Yeah, and Perry. And I really love that Jimmy is somehow like this ladies' man. Like,
the
without
one
trying.
Scene whenever like there's the two girls and like...
I know, I'm like, who are they looking
and I'm like,
and they're not doing that to the 6'4" jacked guy?
I was like, are they looking at Jimmy? And I was like, why?
I was looking around too.
All right, well,
Jimmy
he's got a factor.
He's got it.
He's got something.
Over that other guy.
Well, the sports reporter whose name I always forget.
Steve something, or I don't know. I mean,
it's super sports reporter coded.
But yeah, that guy we hit with the mustache.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we get a tiny bit of Perry. The one character we get there that I think we didn't need was Cat Grant. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like she ever really did anything.
The Daily Planet, I was gonna say, had like a lot of characters in it, and Cat Grant was one where I was like, oh, Cat, okay, like I recognize the name.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's just there to be able to be used more so later. And it's like, well, no, she's around there.
Yeah.
You know, but like she does a lot of media things in the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, she seems to be a younger reporter just at the Daily Planet. So.
Yeah, and as long as we do get to use her, I'm gonna be fine with her kind of not being a.
She's one of the characters where I'm kind of like, she's there, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
Who she
does
is
she
and why
need
she's
to be there,
you know?
other than to just establish that she does exist?
Yeah.
Which I think sometimes in movies we kind of think backwards of like, why does she need to be there? It was like, well, wouldn't she be there? Even if she isn't important,
saying, like,
wouldn't she?
Something in the future for going into, like, it would make sense for her to be there.
All I want to know is, at one point she was talking about a concert, but I was paying attention to the TV behind her because that's what the focus was trying to go to.
You want to know what concert?
I want to know what concert. Was she talking about the Eras Tour?
Is that in the DC universe? Is she?
It could be. We don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
She's too busy being Dazzler in the Marvel universe at some point.
Yeah, but like Hawkgirl, I kind of felt a similar way, but Hawkgirl also like contributed in some stuff too.
Yeah,
whereas
we didn't
Cat
get
was kind of around in a general sense.
I don't even think we really got much of a Cat's personality, really.
Yeah, I think we got more with Hawkgirl just because, and I've said it before, I'm biased because it's Isabel, but I just think that actress has so much character. Like that moment, what was it about the name? And she does a face.
Yeah.
And like you just know what she's feeling.
Yeah, when they're in the Hall of Justice. Or
the Hall of
Justice. That part,
yeah.
That's the most I think we get with like all three of them.
Yeah.
Like just kind of being people.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the time, like it's mainly Guy.
Yeah.
But we got a lot more Mr. Terrific than I thought we were going to get in this movie. For being Mr. Terrific, who I think is like, I think he's kind of known, but not like, you know, he wasn't like in the Justice League really. Like he wasn't like I don't think a well-known character. I really liked him, and I'm glad they used him a lot. And they had a terrific one-shot.
Oh yeah.
That was a one-shot, wasn't it?
It didn't cut. It was so good.
Wow.
I don't think I realized it was a one-shot.
In the bubble with Lois Lane Like, you're just in the bubble looking around the whole
Yeah.
time. And, like, Mr. Terrific's over here. And then sometimes you just go up and you're like, that guy's getting his ass kicked by balls. And you come back down here, now Mr. Terrific's over here.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing, it was so cool.
It was really good.
I loved it.
I think Mr. Terrific a lot of the times in TV shows and movies gets like the Martian Manhunter treatment of like, what do we do with him? Because Martian Manhunter a lot of the times is like Superman's like, if there's anyone on Earth I don't want to fight, it's him. He's the strongest person on this planet. So like a lot of the TV shows and movies, they kind of just don't use him, and he's one of my favorite DC characters. And I feel the same with Mr. Terrific. Is like so much of the time he's like, because he's the smart guy, he's running the Watchtower for Justice League stuff, or he's just in a lab. And I think they like, this is the best Mr. Terrific that I've ever seen. And just the idea that they can make him this cool makes me really excited for some of the characters that I think have gotten the short end of, you know, the TV show, movie side of things.
I just like that his T-Spheres didn't have needles in them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, they had Mr. Terrific in another version of the thing, and
Yeah.
he had needles in his little balls. I didn't like it. I was like, dude, I love these little balls. And then, like, immediately a needle popped up. I hate these balls. I hate them.
So then we did the interview. What was it after the interview? Because the movie is very, very kinetic and constantly moving and doing stuff. Is that when we started to get Lex in the White House or the Pentagon?
They went to the Pentagon after they went to the Fortress of Solitude. So they went to the Fortress of Solitude next and fought there, where they killed all the robots.
Yeah.
And then they fought Krypto and did like the little like,
Head.
they took away the air like kind of thing to
Yeah.
him too. That
I
they
was
were
so
doing.
scared.
Yeah, I was worried. Like, they're not gonna kill
You're
a
not gonna
dog,
kill a
right?
dog.
They're gonna kill him, right?
The one thing that I thought was weird in that segment that I mean, like, that's cool, but why did you do it? Is like at one point the engineer, Angela, whatever, like did like this like backflip handstand and then just like
flipped her
and then
over?
just changed to like, now my head's up here, and I'm like, why didn't you just turn around? Like, I don't understand why. I don't get why you, like, that was cool. I don't know why you did it.
Yeah, I was like, she started to like flip around. I was like, oh, cool. What is she gonna do? And then she just like used it as
just
like a.
her legs turned into her arms. And
Yeah,
stuff,
she just used it to just do this. And I was like, oh.
And I was like, I wrote it down. I'm like, what I put? Neat and weird engineer flip, then changed upside down. But I was like, I'm gonna write that down because maybe she does something weird later on. And I'm like, oh, they really established that well here. But I mean, I don't know. I guess they did. But then, like, just a little bit later, she hacked into the whole computer, and her whole body was these weird nanobots. And I'm like, you have me here. Like, she can just do weird shit with this. Like, I don't need the weird, no reason
weird
backflip. You know?
Yeah, I thought what she was doing was she was like flipping her body to have, because like your lower, like your legs might have like more nanobots than like your arms to like do like a big, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like she does end up making like a big old gun out of her arms later. I thought she was like doing something like that maybe.
Or do some kind of kick with her feet and then like send like some saw blades or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was just a weird moment.
Yeah,
it was cool.
I think everything else about that was really cool. Like the way she had like the blades, and then Lex just like that's just pure aura farming.
Yeah.
Like him having no reaction because he just.
Dude, it's like something's coming like right here and he doesn't move or react to it at all, and then it's just.
Yeah, or like her blade comes in front of his face to hit one that's coming at him, and he just does not care. You know, so
yeah, that part was cool. I like that.
I did sit there and go, why'd she flip that? So yeah, that's maybe one of the few action things that I was like, why?
Yeah,
that was kind of silly.
Was the message from his parents was all 100% true, like not fabricated?
That's what it seems like.
Because like,
sorry, no. At the end of the movie, as I'm crying, I'm like, so the message was real.
I mean, Mr. Terrific is the one I trust the most to know. Like
Lex said it was too.
I mean, I expect
Lex
Lex to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but like when I first saw that, I'm like, no way, they didn't say that.
I said the same thing. I was like, they hacked it.
I was like, okay, Lex. But the reason I didn't think that is the engineer in the moment said we got him when she was downloading it, or we got it, or we got what we need.
And Lex's ego moment too, like when he was walking, he was like, who would have thought his own parents would have been his downfall, you know? And he just said it with a way I'm like, dang, really, man? They sent him here to take over? Like, that sounds like what Zod wants, you know? Not like what his parents wanted.
So I was like, okay, maybe Lex is lying. And like, what she said is it's going to turn out to be like a stretch, or like they change it a little bit.
But they never came back to disprove it or anything.
Yeah, and then the Pentagon was like, yeah, we proved it. And I was like, I think Lex can trick them. But then when Mr. Terrific does it, I was like, I don't think Lex is going to get anything by him that easy.
But by then I was still gaslighting myself like it's not real.
Yeah, so I am curious how that's going to affect this DC in the long term, because we did get Kara. You know, we're kind of to skip ahead. We did see Kara for the first time. Mm-hmm. So is that an attitude that was held by anyone on Krypton to save their kids?
Sure. Because like it feels like a Zod thing. So if we have him show up, I feel like that's the case. But I don't know. I don't know if Kara would. And she's too busy partying right now anyway.
Yeah.
But this is like the first time I think of having a Superman where it seems the only message he has came from his like ship, and it was damaged, and he, like every other one, I feel like gets some kind of like weird hologram to talk to, or you know, like something like that, where like sentient. It's some kind of weird AI that they can actually like it's his dad, but it's not his dad kind of thing.
It's like his dad uploaded his consciousness.
Yeah, like so Man of Steel did it. I'm pretty sure Christopher Reeve stuff had some kind of like thing he could talk to actually like learn about everything. Like
Superman,
Lois. Yeah, Superman in the animated series I think did it. Like all of them had something like that, I think. Where like
did Superman it's been so long since I've seen.
I think it did.
Superman
I'm pretty sure there was something that he learned.
You've seen
maybe not, because that one there, like you kind of get into it not from like the beginning. So I don't remember, but he did have like a Fortress of Solitude with like a lot of stuff and a little zoo and stuff.
Like I think I've seen all of Superman the animated series, but like only once, and that was like when it was airing. So generally my Superman is the Justice League Superman, which is the same Superman as that. But in the Justice League, it's the Justice League, so you really don't get Fortress of Solitude stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely don't remember that.
But most of them usually I feel like have like some kind of like conversation thing he gets to have with his family
instead of just hearing the recording.
Like 3 years, and he's still like, well, I got a fortress. However, he got his Fortress of Solitude. You know, did he get a little thing and throw it out in the ice?
And where did the robots come from?
He had. There was 12 of them or so, you know? One of them was numbered 12.
Yeah, and she was new.
Yeah. But 4 was the leader. Gary.
Yeah. Gary.
4 is a name. So is Gary.
Yeah. I thought he was just naming a name, and then like shortly after he was like, okay, Gary. Like, oh, okay, I guess his name is.
I mean, if that's the name that you're going to say is a name, I guess I'll name you that name, because that's like your instinct is to go to that name. Probably one you like.
You must want Gary.
Yeah.
Now we have Gary. So yeah.
I also was curious if we were going to actually get an answer as to how Lex got into the fortress, or if it was going to just be some BS. But it ended up being like the simplest solution, which was Ultraman has Clark's DNA.
I thought it from the beginning. I was like, oh, the person under that has the same DNA. So my instinct was, oh my God, who is it? Is it Tom? Is it Tyler? Is it?
Oh, another Superman?
Yeah, I thought it was another Superman.
Which would have been crazy. Especially crazy if it was Henry.
Yeah.
That would have really set some fans over the edge.
We're going to have this Superman fight on the past Superman
and we're literally throwing him into the old Superman into a black hole to erase him forever.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay, well, he's got he must have a Superman thing, but I wonder what he has. I didn't even be like, oh, it's Ultraman. Is that
I don't know.
It wasn't until he was getting to the point of taking off his mask, and I was like, oh man, is it gonna be him under there? Is that what who else is gonna be that we're gonna recognize?
Yeah, I don't know why. It just never dawned on me that it was gonna be just a straight up clone. You know, I don't know. Something about it just never. Clicked.
After you have Mr. Terrific being like, I put nanobots in his bloodstream, and I'm like, how the hell did he do that?
With consent or not?
Yeah, but how did he?
Obviously not.
It must not have been.
Because he said he does it to everybody.
Yeah. And then Hot Girl and stuff were like...
Oh, that was the face she made, yeah.
She's like,
what? Yeah, but no, if he can do that, how do you penetrate his skin to put it into his bloodstream, or do you make him eat it? How did he do it? And I'm like, well, if Mr. Terrific can do it, I'm sure Lex can get some kind of something.
Yeah.
And he did it through hair, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he combed fighting locations to find a hair.
I mean, that's a Lex-ass thing to do.
Yeah,
He's obsessed.
Yeah. Like, that's one of his things is, like, Superman is his white whale. I really also enjoyed his distraction. Which
little
was
bitty creature.
Yeah, that turned into a full-on kaiju.
A bigger
you know,
creature.
and
I
that's,
love the two guys who let it loose, and it was like, that's kind of tiny. He's like, don't worry. It's going to get big. And the next scene is that he's a fucking, kaiju.
Yeah, he's huge.
I'm trying to, let's see. I don't think it was named Otis. Otis was, like, Lex's dude. He was the heavier set black man with the goatee.
Yeah.
Like, he was like...
Otis, do the thing. And he, like, pulls the lever and the whole building, like,
Yeah.
now it's a ship, you know?
Yeah, like, he felt like he was the second every time. Because he went and did the kaiju thing. He's like, just wait. It'll get bigger. You know, I really... Even though he was bad, I really enjoyed Otis as, like, a side henchman guy.
I really liked him as a side.
You know?
Yeah. I wonder if he's meant to be the same Otis. There's other iterations of Otis, and he has, like, a sister. But I didn't notice a sister in this one or anything. So
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know if I...
Away.
Might have been... I just might be far enough away from stuff that I don't remember notice in anything in the past. But I really enjoyed the...
Superman and Lois had a notice.
I'm currently rewatching it with a friend.
he was... trying to think of where he was and what would have been the thing. But yeah, I think he, like, lost an ear at one point, too, or something. But, like, yeah, he's down in the subway and stuff too, and during the subway scenes. If you remember any of those,
We're gonna get to it soon.
So, yeah. But anyway, no, I like.
no.
There's also like
curious.
the one mustache guy.
he had the big old thick mustache.
But and that guy would not like. Lex, shut up! I'm turning this rift off. You know, I'm like, just push the button.
Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah,
Let's do
but
it.
Lex is not a person to.
But then
I don't know if I would.
Sure.
Especially if
he has Ultraman and
that
and Raptors
and these guys know about the dimension thing. Do they know that he is prisoning his ex-girlfriends just because they're his ex-girlfriends?
They have to.
Or the blog people.
Right?
They have
you
to.
know, anyone who writes a bad blog about him.
If you're against him, if you're gonna tell on anything,
Yeah.
you're like, oh well, I can't keep you around, so I got to put you in here.
Yeah.
Or the fact that he like gets paid to hold countries' political agitators.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's what like the mustache guy, he kept on wanting to flip almost, it felt like. So when Mr. Terrific was there, he's like, I'll help you. Like,
here's how you do it over here.
And Mr. Terrific's like,
Bitch, please.
I'm smarter than you.
I know how to do this.
You're smart. I'm smart.
but I think that kind of proves the fear element that Lex Luthor could have implemented with this group of people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only reason I don't...
Cult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like with Metamorpho. You know, he was...
No, yeah,
he was held captive by his child. I didn't feel that way for any of the Stooges in Lex's because they were a little too eager to do the stuff they were doing. Mm-hmm. But he definitely shows that he is willing to do a bunch of different stuff to get the things he wants.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Holding kids hostage or whatever. Yeah. No, I was watching him and I was like, there's a time I'm like, oh man, what is this guy? They call him an Element Man. I was like, it makes me think of Animal, Mineral, Vegetable Man or whatever from like Doom Patrol. Is what it kind of made me think of too. And I'm like, man, who is this guy? And then when I was watching him, like he had some closure shots. I'm like, NoHo? No. NoHo? Like, no. And then there's other, it's not him, no. And then I got to the credits, I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, it was NoHo Hank? Damn. So
I'm trying to remember, there was an animated show where Metamorpho, I think it was Metamorpho, showed up for the first time. And that's the one I remember from him the most. But he's very different in this one.
Yeah, this guy I didn't know what to expect from this guy.
Yeah.
He did some stuff. He turned to acid.
Yeah.
That acid thing was so cool.
He turned into a micro sun.
He did, yeah.
And I love that as he was like doing it, he was like naming off the things he needed to do it to make it. So it gave me like Momo from MHA where she has to know like all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like this isn't making like a sword where you know how to make steel. He is making a sun.
Yeah. Well, he can't make a stunt.
It's something like
But-
a sun.
It can put out the same radiation as the sun and is bright as hell.
Does that mean the human girlfriend that was next to him got exposed to like heavy radiation?
But we're just gonna say that the glass shielded that out.
Yeah, maybe.
It's true because it was keeping Superman in.
Yeah, and Kryptonite was in there. And I don't know,
Yeah, they're completely safe.
But I love when Mr. Trivia was like, there's a dog and a kid, like a weird baby and a Superman and a squibbly man. Or something like
Yeah.
He's squiggly man. Or,
That's when he was just a head, right?
He was a head with just like some like tentacle
Tentacle
arm
but
things.
then he had like turned the back half of his body into a jet engine.
Yeah, that's when he was trying to pull him.
pull him out of the black hole.
That was kind of cool too. I like that.
Yeah.
Like that guy was neat.
I really liked it.
Yeah, Metamorpho was really, really cool.
Also, my first experience with Metamorpho.
Yeah,
I
don't
He's-
think I really know him.
He's pretty like niche.
Yeah, but
you know.
now he's a part of the Justice Gang or whatever it is.
Which the guy being like, he's not going to be part of our group.
And then
He's not a member of the Justice Gang. Justice Gang, that's a pretty cool name.
you're
You're
in.
in.
I thought about starting the video of like, hey guys, crew of Justice Gang, and you guys being like, we didn't vote on that.
That's why we don't vote.
But wrapping back around, because we kind of left, is I really enjoyed the Kaiju fight.
Yeah.
And getting to see, we really get to see how much care he takes in everything he does in that fight more than anything else. Because not only does he starts off by saving the
dog.
woman. Oh yeah, it was a dog first. Yeah.
He, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, where
Go
he
away.
froze
Go
the
away.
water and blew him away. He saves
He saved a squirrel.
He
he saves a lady. He saved the dog, then a lady, where he picked her up and he set her down and he gave her his little quick
Breathe.
like I don't know what to even call it, but it's just like a distilled stress calm situation, and then a squirrel.
Yeah, I was surprised on the squirrel.
Eric would have kicked that squirrel.
Like a squirrel, he would have.
No,
Eric
he
would-
would not have kicked that squirrel.
Yeah.
The squirrel bit Eric in the game.
I don't know. I think that was an excuse. I think he
squirrel
looked at
was
that
just-
squirrel with bloodlust. But yeah, it's one of those things where like everything he did was extremely deliberate in trying to minimize the damage he did, which I think a lot of the times in these movies it ends up being a big punch fest, and there's so much damage. I mean, like
He
Avengers
was like
movies.
trying to catch it from hitting buildings.
Yeah.
And he also was like, when Guy and them showed up, was like, hey, let's try to like, I was trying to think of a way to get it out of here so that we could,
Study it.
study it, or knock it out and take it somewhere safe, or whatever.
Mr. Terrific was like,
What do you say, like a galactic zoo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the only time really any damage hit anything was the unexpected fire breath, where he blocked from that. And then he immediately, instead of fighting the thing,
Turned
checked
around.
on the people and then was like, okay, he has a fire breath. It's too close for me. I gotta be up. So he shoots it up.
Eyes on me.
Eyes on me, and then flies up. and
Eyes
then
up
he-
here.
Eyes
Yeah.
up here. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what it was. Hey, guy.
I do-
Eyes up
Eyes
here.
up here.
I do think that was maybe the one scene where I like clocked the limitations of the suit, because he did it like here. He's like eyes up here instead of like up here. I don't know if it was just like a choice or that's like the limitations of the movement of his.
Like he couldn't get his arms
Yeah,
up that
he
high.
can't
or
get his
something.
arms like all the way up here. I don't know if it was just like something about it just feels a little weird that it's like you're saying eyes up here and you're down here.
But I really love that scene because you see the difference between Superman's fighting technique of wanting to save that creature and then the other three Justice Gang just like, we're taking it out.
Yeah.
And Hawkgirl being like, I'm being blinked to death.
Yeah, and I hated Guy's thing where it was just kind of like,
Blah.
I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, it was like an extractor tool that just blah, blah,
Blah,
blah.
blah, blah. This poor little thing.
And that makes
well, he's not little.
Yeah,
That
and
makes-
terrific balls.
That makes so much sense for
And that went in down his intestines and
Yeah.
just, and then he was dead. I was like, what?
Yeah,
That makes so much sense for Guy and Hawkgirl, because Hawkgirl's, warrior culture and, very, very battle oriented. And Guy is Guy.
Guy.
He's the Green Lantern that the Guardians send on like the shady missions that you want to get taken care of, but are kind of morally iffy. That's Guy. So, but he always comes through and pulls through. So like those things make sense. But Mr. Terrific, I was like, damn, it started off kind of rough. I was like, oh man, am I not going to like this Mr. Terrific? But I think it's just from like it ends up being just from a pure logic standpoint from him there. Of like, if we don't kill it, we run too much of a risk of it hurting other things, was kind of how I justified it to myself.
Sure.
You know, that we have to kill it versus trying to do what Superman wants. But it was a very good introduction to them because, like, all of Guy's constructs were very funny. You know, muzzling it and then putting oven mitts on it.
I just put oven mitts on him.
Yeah.
I'm being blinked to death.
I'm being blinked to death. It did feel like Hawkgirl didn't really get to shine a lot because the two like action scenes she got was one with the kaiju where she was getting blinked and she really can't do any damage, and then she didn't get to participate in the war really. She just went after
the president.
Which she get to be ruthless and kill the guy, which is great because he was a dick. But
when the guy was like, I know you guys, you can't kill me, you're just like Superman.
Yeah, you're just like Superman, you're too soft or whatever.
Yeah, and she's
I'm not like
I
Superman.
am not like Superman. Whoop.
Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah.
Oh, they did a lot of like, what do you call them, shifts?
Like
Transitions.
Transitions and
that
cuts
were
and
like
stuff.
that, where someone was like blowing something up and it was another movement. There was a Alka-Seltzer thing. They did it like 3 times and I really enjoyed it.
There was something they did with the locking, and then it like went to like Lois's door.
Yeah.
And a lock. Whenever he was like making breakfast.
For dinner.
Yeah, for dinner.
That's not my favorite food. That's yours.
I'm also with Lois Lane of like, Guy, if you're that cocky, like, where's the better hairstyle?
Yeah, Guy historically has had a really bad hairstyle, and James Gunn loves to put his friend Nathan Fillion in embarrassing situations.
It's great.
He's the superhero that his arms detach from his body in Suicide Squad. He's the meatball suit guy in Guardian 3. You know, he just looks goofy. Like,
it's Nathan.
Yeah, James Gunn just loves to make Nathan look goofy, and Nathan's just for it all the time.
Yeah. That's true.
I think Nathan's been in every one of James Gunn's movies.
Has he?
I think so.
No.
I know they started whenever they had the what was it was like the porn, but it was like it's like the porn, but it was like everything but the porn of a porn movie. It was like, I think, directed by James Gunn, and it starred Nathan Fillion, and he like came in to be like a handyman. But it's like, you know, like all the build up for like the reason why. Hey, did you want a package? It's like all that, and it's all weird and awkward and cringy, and it all ends before anything actually happens. But I forget what it's called. PG porn maybe or something like that. But Nathan Fillion, James Gunn. If you haven't seen it, it is funny. I think he. Yeah, I don't want to ruin this. What he does. I was a little surprised. Actually, no, I guess I wasn't surprised.
About?
Maxwell Lord was shown in it, and Maxwell Lord like runs or works the gang, the Justice Gang.
Yeah.
But they showed him at one point. I'm like, oh, that's Sean Gunn. And I was surprised.
was that who it was? I missed the like lower thirds of the thing, but
though I feel like I saw something too that was. Was it a trailer maybe or something? Because Peacemaker is supposed to have another season.
Yeah.
And
he was in a
there was like some kind of interview.
It was a talk show. Like I think it was like a talk show thing.
In this, there was the talk show on the news that Lex Luthor had
Oh,
done.
are you talking about the Peacemaker trailer?
I think there was like a Peacemaker trailer or something like that where like there's like an interview thing that he goes through, and I think Sean Gunn was one of them, so he must have been Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
Interviewing Peacemaker.
Because that was also with Hawkgirl and Guy.
Oh, were they both in that too? Okay.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
She was sitting back and she was eating popcorn in that.
That's true.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Which
it was PG porn.
It's PG porn.
Yeah.
PG porn.
Yeah, he directed a few episodes of that, I know, and I think the first one is Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, they're
I
fun.
might look this up.
I think they're just on YouTube. You can just watch them on YouTube.
And then the crazy reveal after the kaiju fight was the full.
That was the audio
video.
from the parents and everything. So we had all that happen, and then I like that. One of the reasons that Clark wants to turn himself in is because he can't find the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's kind of sweet. But I also like during that whole scene that was happening, there's like this weird jellyfish thing in the background that he's not even taking part in.
Yeah.
That he's just sitting there and he's like, good cocoa, you know.
Yeah,
and in the background you just see all this stuff going on. Like,
well, and they they made a comment. He made a comment of, it's just a dimensional imp, which
they got it.
Begs the question of which one.
Sure.
Because there's a couple.
Like I jumped to Mixie. And
Mixie is probably like the easiest to go to. But James Gunn also, I only know this from an interview, he really loves Batmite.
Batmite? Okay.
Yeah, which I believe is like a dimensional imp like thing.
I think they were involved in Teen Titans at some point.
So that could be what it was, because he loves Batmite so much. So he's like, I'm going to throw a dimensional imp thing in it. But we just get to see not really see, but the Justice Gang fights them in the back. And he's like, they got it.
You're just seeing like things floating around. And you see a lot of green energy.
The green.
Yeah, the green. And then at one point you see a bunch of red beams hit it.
The end of it I thought was kind of interesting or funny because it's like wrapped in green and it feels like it's shooting out like juices while it's like being squeezed.
Yeah, that sounds like a guy thing to do. You put it in a juicer.
And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, we had that, and then right before that we had Peacemaker make a little appearance. And I was like, okay, help just connect everything together and have him be on there and have him badmouth Superman, being like, I know he was a bad guy.
Yeah, and it's very in line with like what he said about characters in season 1 of Peacemaker, where he talked about Batman and all that, and he had his funny line of being they're just upset because I'm more jacked than them, or something along those lines, which very few people can say that line about a Superman actor other than John Cena.
Yeah.
That's great.
So then he turns himself in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, before that, he goes to Lex yelling, "Where is the dog?"
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
which causes the video that makes people turn against him even more.
Yeah. Which, that's again a thing that I don't think we get to see in Superman a lot, is like, he's either very composed because he has to be, because he talks about living in a world of glass and he can't let loose, or you get like Man of Steel was very, very like stoic and serious all the time, so it's very rare that we get to really see like Superman be angry and like really that's not in a fight, because usually if you see Superman get angry, it's in a fight because somebody gets hurt, and then he has, he's like, okay, I can be stronger now because
I like to say that we're seeing his humanity in these parts.
Yeah, but it's also not only are we seeing the humanity in his anger, we're seeing the humanity in the restraint of his anger.
Yeah, because he could easily squish Lex right there and kill him.
Yeah, like just throwing the desk. That's like, he blows the door open and he throws the desk. Those are like nothing. Like that's like me just doing this,
Jeez, calm down, Jake.
Yeah,
right. Toxic masculinity coming through. But like we don't get to see that in Superman very often, where he like gets angry, and then I don't know if it would occur to so many people that even in that anger he has to show the level of restraint, because he's playing in a world of the world is a card house.
Yeah.
There's
a couple good scenes in Superman and Lois.
I have been trying.
Hey, there's a pretty good one.
I'm taking other friends through it, and I try to get him to go through it with us.
I'll probably get to it at some point. I know. I've seen some scenes that I really, really like.
Probably my favorite Superman.
Let me go ahead and let's take this little moment. If you have not seen Superman and Lois, go see Superman and Lois. I've been watching Superman. I'm probably going to age myself since I didn't really watch the cartoons, but I saw the Dean Cain version, Lois and Clark and Superman.
The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
That's what it's called.
And then the Smallville, and then the DCCW, and Tyler and Elizabeth as Clark Kent and Lois. They are my Clark Kent. They are my Lois Lane. They are the best, in my opinion.
Sure, yeah. No, I think it's done really well. I think like the fight elements are great, but I also think the things that Superman can't punch in those storylines are also really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think it's a great.
Please
it's
go
only
see
like
it.
4 seasons, and I think it's also like only
it's
10 to 13 episodes a season. Like, it's not like the 24 episodes every season like Arrowverse and CW usually did.
It's like 13, and then 10.
Yeah, and it's by the end of everything, they're like, we're not part of anything.
Yeah.
we're our own thing.
Yeah, so you can watch it without seeing the other stuff.
Yeah, you don't need anything else.
It's so good.
So good.
That being said, Rachel, what's her full name? Rachel
Brosnahan.
I love her. She's great. If you have not seen Marvelous Miss Maisel, go see it. As soon as she was casted as Lois Lane, I was like, yep, I see it. Just from her experience of seeing her acting in Marvelous Miss Maisel, which is an Amazon Prime show. We're not sponsored by them, but go watch it. It's so good.
I watched the first, like recently I started Marvelous Miss Maisel and got like midway through the first season and I was like, I love this. I'm going to slow down and take a break from it in case this ever gets reacted to because I would like to watch it along with you guys.
Oh yeah.
And like at the same time. But if it doesn't show up in polls at sometime soon, I'm probably gonna have to say screw that and go watch it.
Yeah, I've never
so
seen
like
it.
I also was in the boat of like when she got cast as Lois Lane, I was like,
it was so easy to see it.
Her and Marvelous Miss Maisel, I can see it. I'm in it. David, I didn't really have any experience with.
Yeah, I didn't know David before this, other than Twisters.
Yeah.
Other than Twisters.
Was he in Twisters?
He was the other guy that was with
Anthony Ramos.
Yeah. That was with what was the company name? The fancy group.
Oh, he was the other guy.
Yeah, he was the tall one that his uncle or whatever owned the insurance company.
That kept trying to get them to join in with.
Yeah, that was him. He actually found out about his Superman casting
while on set. And they have videos of it. It's really cool.
Where he told the cast of Twisters.
But I hadn't seen him in anything other than that. I love his Clark Kent. I that moment of Clark Kent shifting to Superman during that interview where he's just leaning forward and his voice goes deep and you're like, oh my. It's just so good.
Yeah, I think
Miss Lane, like that moment thing when he.
I don't think they're my Superman and Lois yet because I don't have Superman and Lois to show because it's only one film. But if we get another movie like this, I think they're gonna be like. I think he's my Superman and Lois for movies, because I didn't have as much with Christopher Reeve. I didn't see those until later, until I seen some other stuff, and obviously he's probably gonna be de facto one, even if I think David ends up being closer and his movies are better. I think Christopher Reeve's always gonna be like. The guy, but I think these two are going to be like the ones that are like definitive ones.
For my kids, this might just be their Superman, because they haven't really seen Superman before.
True.
Yeah,
and like I think it's going to be the case for like a lot of people because like as I got older, like there was the original trilogy for Star Wars that was just always out, but the one I have more nostalgia for was the one that was in theaters when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So like the prequels are where like I'm usually like, oh man, these ones are the ones I usually like really enjoy. So there's gonna be people out there where it's like, well, yeah, sure, this might not be your Superman because you've grown up with these guys, and that's what you're gonna think of probably. But there's gonna be a lot of younger, like there were younger kids in my theater.
Yeah, there was young ones in ours
that were like watching, and I think they all enjoyed it.
Yeah. So.
But even though they're not my Superman and Lois just yet, they're so close. Like James Gunn picked a good cast. I think so.
Yeah, I think I
don't really have any issues with any of the cast. Any of my issues are just like, well, I don't know why Cat Grant was here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to think of her or like stuff like that. But it's not that much that's really around. Like everyone was fairly well, I think, for the most part utilized. I want to know more about the Justice Gang. Yeah. But like we had a lot more with Mr. Terrific. Not too much Guy, but maybe you don't want too much Guy either,
No, you can only take so much Guy Gardner.
I could talk with Hawk Girl more, but I don't need her to scream at me either, though, because that might get scary.
She was scary.
Like every time she was out fighting, she's like, ah! I was like, oh god.
When she was in that hallway and it was just a screech, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, she is scary.
Yeah, but considering how many there were, like a lot of things I think came together pretty well for a lot of the story stuff. I did want to say as we were moving through, whenever we get into like we mentioned the Metamorpho guy a little bit, but like his little prison that he had, but like the pocket dimension,
the pocket dimension.
But like in that he had monkey bots, that were like his bots to like just spam social media with like hate? Super shit and all that stuff.
Hashtag super shit.
I love how mad he got at it. You know I hate that one.
It's just like this is.
And he's going through and he's like. Super shit. This is where it's from. God damn it. And it's just them hashtag super shit over and over again. And this is where it gets into like a lot of the real world like
The idea of like bots on social
farms,
media, or like the Russian bots or the whatever bots that are out
the
there.
rage farms and the rage bait and they're only designed to elicit like extreme responses from people, and they are meant to radicalize people to certain ideologies and thoughts. You can, it's just like Lex did with what we are assuming with his little group, is like that's how you get people into these extreme viewpoints and thoughts, is you pander to the hate and the fear, and like you make people feel other and different. They're no longer people, they're aliens.
Or it's how you get them to do something, because that's how he got Superman to go confront him. Well, it was the dog, but
sure,
you're eliciting a reaction.
But like all the things that he did to try to get to this point of just trying to kill Superman, which he says by the end was like, I started a war so I could kill you.
So I have an excuse to kill you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna kill you so I can get part of a country.
Yeah, like the everyone thought they figured it out, but in reality it was the reverse. They thought that like, oh, he's just out for money. Like, no, he doesn't. Like, sure, that's nice. He don't give a shit about that, because Lex can make money at doing anything, as we can see.
I really love that monologue
of
Lex, where like you just see how sinister and evil he is in that moment of like, I don't know if it's competition with Superman, if it's the admiration Superman's getting and he wants it, but he's like, my envy is my purpose. Like he made it a positive.
Oh yeah, when you're talking about like Galileo.
And it's the thing of, he's like, he's mentioned in the same breath as Galileo and all this, and he kind of like insults them. He's like, being in the same voice as them makes me like feel sick to myself. So he's like, first of all, he's saying he's so much smarter than some of the smartest people that have ever been in human history. But he's also said, at least they did something to do that. You just showed up, So it's the fact that he is the public's attention, but just by existing, while he had to.
Even his name, right?
Yeah, Superman.
Man.
Yeah.
He's not a man, he's an it, or whatever he said, right?
And that's the dehumanizing of others, to try and like get people to turn, and that's how then it eventually kind of worked for a time, and then he put him in put a alien in a cage, and cages with anyone that are political dissenters or
ex-girlfriends.
All of his ex-girlfriends,
basically anyone against him, right?
And then we see how
in a pocket dimension that no one can get to.
And he's also making money off of it, because the political dissenters are, I'm assuming he's getting paid or favors from the countries that these
or was
dissenters
paid to put them. I mean, once you put them there, it's like, well, they're just there.
But he can keep charging, otherwise they might get out of the pocket dimension. And then we get to really see, like, it's probably the worst of what we see of Lex, which is him holding hostage the baby of Metamorpho, who is just a metahuman that was found that can create anything and has a baby, and then him but it's like he goes and he just finds exactly what he needs, and then he knows exactly what he needs to take to get those things to do what he needs.
But when they talk about like what's that kryptonite stuff, kryptonite, he's like, isn't that not on Earth anywhere? And they're like, well, we have a solution for that.
He's like, I have a way around that, and that's him setting all this up in the 3 years since Superman's. Like, how long has he been working on all this stuff?
I don't know. I want to know. That's why I feel like I want to know more of him, because like this is the most like. It felt like everything he was doing wasn't for him to really gain anything. Like, it felt like LexCorp and Lex had everything they wanted, except Superman was alive.
Yeah.
And he wanted Superman dead. Whereas usually I feel like I'm used to Lex, like, there's something he's always gaining. There's like more money or some kind of recognition or a political position or something like that.
He wanted to be king, right?
Well, that's what they said, though. But then he said that he just wanted Superman.
I think that Superman threatens the position of
him being top
of man, because he's super, but and you can't touch him.
And then once he gets rid of Superman, who he made everyone hate, everyone's gonna love Lex.
Yeah, but I don't know if the admiration is necessarily what he wants. I think he, like, at one point he did say that Superman was a threat to humanity, in the fact that, like, humanity is known. It threatens that our existence just by you being here, because we're nothing to you. And I think being nothing is so offensive to Lex that he can't let it slide.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
It's the ego thing. But then we get to see the truly the worst thing he does,
Malik.
which is the Malik thing, you know. Which
Man.
I thought for sure that it was going to be some kind of ploy.
I
or
thought
like,
so too.
you know, like, oh, we're going to, like, he's going to slide away and it's like Clayface or something like that.
Well, and even
You know?
if you don't put, like, if you put in something where it's like the bullet.
Or, yeah, it's
you
a
know,
fake bullet.
But it's like,
or-
well, I can pull this several times, but that tension's going to be there.
And, yeah, and Superman does reveal something, but not that he actually, you know, just killed a random guy that helped Superman.
And it was so unhinged, like so unplanned, so un-Luthor, because he was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's faster than I thought
I
it
thought
would have been.
it would take longer than that.
And I'm like,
I mean, I don't know if it's un-Luthor, because I think he goes into that with a revolver knowing that, like,
yeah.
each time it is a higher percentage chance of it happening. Even if he spins it, like, the more times you do it, the chance goes up slightly. So, you know, he knew he was playing with odds. He was just wondering what do you get out of it. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I think at that point he just wants to hurt Superman more than get stuff from him, and that's something he was gonna. Because he just said, "Oh, I'll just go get somebody else."
Yeah. Well, I think he wants both. He wants the information. He knows
Well,
so
yeah,
many
but
people.
But that's why he can go to somebody
Yeah.
else. You know.
Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I know, and
it'd
he
be-
said, I'll just go get Clark Kent.
Which would
I'm
be
like,
really hard to go get him at this point.
But yeah, go get him. You find him. But yeah, no, I was really upset there. Maybe that's part two where I'm like, I just don't. There's nothing in this movie that makes me like Lex at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas usually I at least like him a little.
Yeah.
Or he's like, oh man, he's so fun to watch kind of thing. And this one's just like, I hate this guy.
Yeah. I do think that it's fun to sometimes have a villain that's so evil that there's just no redeeming qualities. Like, a lot of the times a nuanced villain makes for a very, very good villain. Like,
Sure.
very interesting. And there is some nuance to Lex, but there is, every once in a while it's nice to have someone that is just so evil that you don't go, I get it. You know, sometimes it works.
No, I guess. Like I like Kingpin a lot. And sometimes I want to root on him, but I'm like, I know I should.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, I get it. Like, nuanced villains, like, Thanos makes some arguments that, like, they kind of fall apart under when you really look at him.
Sure.
But his reasoning and what he
On a
believes.
general idea of like what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Like he thinks he's the hero.
Yeah.
Right?
Where-
I don't feel like I understand why Lex thinks he's the hero, you know? But like you said, like if he's afraid of Superman and its humanity and all that kind of stuff, like okay. But I also like I don't know if I fully got there. Maybe I need to watch it again too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and I don't know
but-
if we have to get there yet, because we do have
Hopefully more.
hopefully a long time, because I really love Nicholas Hoult as Lex. I think he was so good.
I really like Nicholas Hoult.
I mean, I
don't know if I liked his Lex. That's my own.
I think I disagree. I think he was excellent as Lex. This Lex has no redeeming qualities right now. We might get there at some point. We might get some stuff that, like, kind of moves that needle a little bit, but
Which means, James Gunn, please make more. Because we need to convince Aaron.
Yeah, convince me. Because I also like John Cryer. John Cryer worked. Oh, I was surprised by that.
yeah.
See, I'm the opposite there.
I was like, I kind of like John Cryer as this, but yeah, I don't know.
There was something sinister and evil, and maybe it's because it's relevant right now, where it's like, I see his points because I hear his points.
Sure.
And it's just the fear, and maybe insofar as the hate of others, that pushes him to do this. I don't know if it's for the good of humanity, but it's the good for Lex.
But I guess it's a thing where I don't get why it's the good for Lex
Yeah.
either, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
He doesn't-
he wants it, I guess,
Yeah.
sure, but I don't know what makes it good for him, I guess,
Yeah.
either. But, you know,
I think I need to watch that monologue again.
The monologue he gives.
Yeah,
Which two of them? There's the one where he's like, I'm better.
Yeah.
But the one that he has with, I hate to think about it, but the one he has with Superman, where he calls him an alien.
Yeah.
You take over. Where it's just the ugliness of right there to other him, that you're not meant to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking at him as like, you're not us, you're something else. And like, I mean, he calls him it. When
Yeah.
you're talking about Superman, you're not a man, you're a
Yeah.
dad. And then like I do like Superman's little like I guess monologue, but his thing about humanity,
Yeah.
right? He's like, I am human. I do this. I make choices. I put my foot in front of the other. You
Yeah.
know, like I do just what you do every day and hope I made the right decisions.
Yeah, I'm as human as it gets, you know,
Yeah.
and that's like why this Superman, and I think this is why this Superman is the best one to me, is because not only is it just a really fun, good action superhero movie, but it's has such a strong like tie into the hope and what being a human is, and that's so much of what Superman is. And sometimes you get lost in the punchiness of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, the things I remember in Christopher Reeve's movies, I think were really good, but I don't think they hit those kind of notes, you know?
Well, I don't think superhero movies thought they could do that yet.
Sure, I get what you mean.
Is
Like,
they
the themes don't need to be as deep. It's a superhero movie,
Yeah.
and you gotta save the world.
There
What's
wasn't
stopping
the
the evil. Or
there wasn't the thought that a superhero movie could be like high art or art in that respect. It's a
Sure. Or
You know.
reflective to, like...
Reflection.
Yeah. Which is crazy because, I don't know about DC Comics, but Marvel Comics almost always have some kind of reflection into things, you know?
well, I mean,
like,
Superman was made by two Jewish men who wanted to put in some aspects of like the struggles of growing up in that way, you know. So it's definitely there. Like Superman, like there's a lot of complaints about this movie being woke. Superman's been woke.
I said most comics have usually been
Like that is like
woke.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Which
like using that word.
Which is just like a weird buzzword to just be like, hey, it's reflective of life.
Yeah. Of like
You know, of
something
like actual
I don't
themes
like.
and notes
Yeah.
that maybe you didn't understand because you weren't that person at the time. But
Yeah.
like, if you're like, oh man, why did they all of a sudden make X-Men gay? He's like, well, you missed all the themes in the comics and stuff
Yeah.
before because that was nods that they were doing the whole time.
That was
maybe
like-
you weren't the audience that was trying to be represented there, so you didn't notice it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like this movie is extremely relevant in what we have going on now with like the whole other talk and
Sure.
you know, putting people in a pocket dimension, you know, that disagree with you and are different than you, and the rage bait farms to, you know, bring up these things and these reactions. And even in like the Justice Gang being kind of apathetic to like doing anything because of like they didn't want to get involved with the Boravian thing at first because they don't want to get involved in politics and
Well, and they also
whatnot.
weren't gonna go look for Superman either
Yeah.
when Lois came
Yeah.
to ask her, like, "Hey, you know, where is he?" And like,
Yeah.
we just lost him.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I mean, they kind of fell into the propaganda of it, of like, on the off chance it's not something we're willing to risk, to take the risk to break into Lex's, you know, pocket dimension and anger the government to save this other
Well, sure, and
person.
If the fear is there that he's gonna come and take over, and him and his harem are gonna take over the world or whatever, you know,
And they're gonna replace
Harem.
us.
right? Isn't that what he
Yeah,
had a harem of
yeah.
women
Yeah.
somewhere or
Yeah.
something? And
Because his mom did say like it was very invincible. His parents were very Viltrumite feeling of like, go there, you're stronger than them, spread your, you know, kryptonite DNA and kryptonite heritage across the galaxy.
yeah,
kind
with
of
the
thing.
harem and rule with no mercy
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, it is very Viltrumite.
Yeah. So then we get Mr. Terrific coming with, and we get his fantastic one shot.
Yeah,
That
terrific
is-
one shot.
Yeah, just an absolute terrific one shot. And I want to make sure I try and pronounce his name correctly because
Edi-
Did I know that actor from anywhere? Because one, I kept thinking that I did, but he had this big giant
Yeah.
paint on his face, and
Do
I'm
you
like,
remember X-Men?
yeah, First Class.
he's the one guy who can like always survive.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's what I wanted to say is I want to think in my head canon is he got that sweet one shot because he got the worst outcome in First Class, in that he's the mutant that can adapt to anything and suddenly just dies to one
Suddenly
thing.
just can't. Yeah.
When in like comics he becomes a god of death to avoid dying, or like when he's fighting the Hulk, his adaptation sends him across the galaxy Yeah,
it's
because
one of those
that's
things,
how you adapt to fight the Hulk.
It's one of those
You just
things where
teleport
like
away.
we don't know what to do with this guy.
Yeah.
He might be too strong.
So I feel like this is, and I'm no matter what James Gunn says directly, I'm gonna think that this is James Gunn going, yeah, you got the short end of the stick in that one. I'm gonna give you a sweet scene to make up for it.
I hope so.
That's pretty cool.
You know, but I do think Edi Gathegi, it was hard to recognize him with the big, because of how thick that T was.
Yeah.
Like I know what he looks like, and I've seen him in other stuff before, but with that big T thing on his face, it was a little difficult. But I do think he looked like the whole Justice Gang. I think their costumes look really good. Mm-hmm. I think he looked a little goofy in his like sitting thing, but like the T, like
I wanted to
but
make
I
sure.
think
I loved it.
but like I think kind of in like a fun way he looked goofy, not like a campy comic booky way, not a that's dumb way.
Sure.
You know? Yeah, he gets that sick one shot where like the people are like, oh, it's the smart one, so they're kind of disarmed. And then he like not only do his T-spheres do work, he's throwing hands. You know, and he gets that sick
He's
one.
punching, and then sometimes he's just going like this, you know,
Yeah.
and just some balls fly out of the side and hit somebody in the head. And that one guy, there was one guy I remember like he got hit and he's like being shocked by a ball.
Yeah.
And then it cuts over here. It didn't cut, but it panned over here, and then it pans back. He's still like being shocked by a ball. I thought it was so
I
funny.
love seeing the contrast of him having that fight and not having fear to then seeing the pocket dimension, and then there's that flicker of fear of like, what the freak is Lex doing?
Yeah.
This could mess us up.
That's
So
a
I
good
love
point.
seeing the contrast there too.
I didn't think about that because he's just walking. Oh, he went this way.
Yeah.
And he's like, you better stop now. And he's like, I will tell you the same thing. You know, like, he starts kicking everyone's ass.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
throws
like, oh, man.
he throws the bubble down on him and Lois, and he's just like gives her a look and jumps through and does like his 2.5 minute sequence of
But,
him
like,
just being super cool.
I didn't think about like how like confident he was through that, and then he sees that, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. What
Yeah.
he's like, Lex is smarter than this.
Yeah, what do you say? Like, this is what his reckless science will get you.
Yeah.
Where he's like the calculated, careful scientist. Lex is the
The
I'm
chaos.
gonna throw it together, but I'm so smart it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it unfortunately for the DC comics, it almost always works.
But
for
also
Lex.
like seeing the scientist woman when they had left and it was starting to reboot. She's like, it's not supposed to do that. He's like, no, it's not. So seeing the fear from her too to implement how terrifying that moment is.
Can you stop it? Can I stop it?
And I loved once Superman broke free and like his whole like again showing how Superman he is he's in this river of antimatter or whatever it was.
It's called
It wasn't antimatter, but
No.
it was like antiprotons or
Something.
something
It's
along those
some
lines. Yeah.
physicsy thing that is like theoretical kind of where he's in this thing that Mr. Terrific said we wouldn't last seconds in there, and he's just in it, and everything
So you
he
gotta
does
hold a baby
is
up.
Holding
hold
that
the baby
baby.
up.
Hold the baby up.
But I love
But some of the Raptor guys were in there too. With
Yeah.
it.
yeah with
Or-
their but I
guess
just
their
assumed
armor.
their suit kind of did it. But I love the fact that Krypto found one of the T-spheres and it's like that's
Ball.
toy
Toy.
ball, and the fear Mr. Terrific has when Krypto's like come back.
Dude,
Those are expensive.
but that teased or paired really well with
With-
later with
yeah.
like Krypto. Get the toy.
Get the
Yes.
toy, yeah.
And
Oh, I loved
they
it.
destroyed all those, and now Lex, now what are you gonna do when you can't see, and now you're dumb, like because he's like he's probably stupider than you,
Yeah.
you know, he's like he can't understand whatever. It's like now your guy's strong, but he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, which after the scene in the pocket dimension, we get maybe my favorite segment in the movie, which is back in Smallville with Ma and Pa Kent, which
yeah.
I think might be the best casting in the movie.
Ma and Pa.
They're
Man,
so
so
small,
good.
but they immediately
He says he loves you. I heard him, Mom.
He was laughing so much during that scene.
her just screaming into that speakerphone is
But it's so close.
is so farmer Midwestern.
And their son has super hearing. So it's great.
I didn't even think about that.
We didn't really get that's the one power, like one of his main powers
Yeah.
that we really didn't get to see.
That's true. So maybe
Because that one sometimes is the hardest to write around, because like, how do you have Lex plan these things out when Superman can theoretically hear
We
everything?
can hear all over the place,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, they come across as so genuine Midwest farmer to me, as someone who grew up around these people, you know, especially, like, she does it a lot, but especially Pa Kent.
In his lost time frame
Yeah.
of, like, not knowing, like, what to do, like, sitting there outside with his dad, like, was such a nice scene.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Like,
a lot.
and the dad coming out and he's like, scoot over, come on, you're not gonna sit there and eat cereal alone, I'm gonna sit with you. And I don't know, there's everything about that segment just screamed that James Gunn knows Superman.
Yeah.
Like, everything else, like, obviously he does, but I think that one is maybe the strongest one for me, and like knowing Ma and Pa Kent and how it works and what they stand for and how their words affect him. And you know,
I like Ma also with the dad, when I think it was Lois. It was like, I don't worry about him. When he's around, he's a softie.
he's just
like
a big
that.
mush.
Big mush. That's what it was. I really like that. But I also like that whole segment there. I love them there. But then, like, you gotta come look at the box. And then they watch it, and that's when they have, like, the flag raising, and
Yeah.
like, Superman. And then she's like, I cleaned your boots for you.
Yeah, she doesn't. He doesn't even have to. He doesn't say anything. She just knows.
You gotta
because,
go.
like, she just knows that her son is gonna go do that because she knows the man he is, and she knows the man she raised. And she's like, "Let me go get your boots. I cleaned them." You know, and it's so. I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like, my dad's sick right now, and it's like kind of getting worse, that like these parent scenes for stuff is like more effective than it would normally be.
They hit different.
But just seeing like these parents put in the right ideals in their kids, like, and them being kind and hopeful and strong for other people, just feels so close to home, you know, because I think my parents did a fantastic job, and the older I get, the more I think that, like, I'm,
That's funny.
because of where I
Sorry, I didn't
I'm
mean
not
it
trying
that
to
way.
say like
No, I didn't mean it that way.
but like I think I'm a very empathetic, thoughtful person, and it's all because of like growing up with them and seeing it happen to the same conversation that I could see happening with my father about me being unsure about something, happen to a man with a god for a son.
Sure. That
You know?
the sun that fell from the sky, and they just was like, oh, okay. You know, like,
Yeah.
like you can be like, well, that wasn't like it's not their kid, but they raised him like it was their
Yeah,
kid.
a 30-year-old man that could, if he wanted to, easily run the world, but he chooses to be a reporter by day and spend his free time saving people.
It's why the like what Red Dawn Superman or whatever they called it, like there's the one that landed like in Russia and like got taken by the army and then was raised in the military instead of being raised by Mom and Pa Kent on the farm in Kansas or whatever. You know, like having those differences, you see like here's what could have been, but here's what we got because of these two good, kind-hearted people.
Yeah.
And they reinforce it by the end of the movie when Gary is like, we're going to show him his parents because it comforts him. And so you think it's going to be the first half again.
Well, because we saw them whenever they were magnifying him, right? They kept playing that.
He said, oh, his parents, they comfort him, and they played the tape, and the robots and Superman like recited it word for word. And the very end, it's Ma and Pa Kent, you know, because he decides that his humanity, he is human. You know, even though he's Kryptonian, he is human, and his human parents are the ones that, you know, taught him to be the man who he is, especially through the conversation with Pa Kent on that bench.
Though, were you surprised Pa Kent was alive?
Sure, yeah, I get what you mean, because like there's different iterations where he's died at different stages in Superman's life, right? So, but I guess I wasn't surprised because I was also like, oh, well, I know they sit on a trailer in the trailer at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I
totally forgot.
It's weird because like I either will remember stuff very well or forget things entirely from
like
trailer
Christian
things.
Slater.
Christian Bale being
Christian
in
Bale.
Thor. I kept forgetting that so many times. But then like there'll be other things like, oh, I'm waiting on this scene to happen. You know, and then either it doesn't happen, like, oh, they took it out, or it's. I hate when it's later in the movie. I do think a lot of the trailer for this was like the first quarter of the movie.
Yeah.
for the most part, which is my favorite way to have trailers.
Yeah.
That way you're not ruining things later on.
Yeah, because like the stuff that was in later in the movie, it was most of it was very, very, very small. I think the only thing that was kind of bigger was like him coming up and punching one of the Lex drones in the face and the teeth going out with Krypto. When him and Krypto, and then him spinning with his laser vision. Like those are cool, and they're exciting to put in a trailer. But I don't think they take anything away from me knowing they're coming still.
The football field fight towards the end with Engineer and Ultraman was also in there. I remember little bits of that too.
But even
not
those,
the flying up in the air.
Yeah, even those was like very basic of like just them slamming Superman into the ground and sliding. So you're like, I know there's a fight there, but I also know it's a superhero movie. The third act is going to have fights, you know? So all I know is the fight's going to happen on a baseball diamond.
Sure.
You know?
I don't think this one was as bad as, I think Jurassic World showed like
So much
almost
more.
every like main dinosaur like interaction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man.
Yeah, I think the trailers for this, and I mean, I kind of quit watching some of them. I think I watched the main ones in maybe a short like TV spot, but I think the marketing of this is really good in keeping enough of it away. Or keeping like, giving you like tiny little bits, but the greater section of it and the better stuff of it didn't get shown at all. You know? Like the best part about the baseball diamond fight wasn't in trailers. You know, it was just the dragging on the ground and not the actual like conflict of it.
I only saw the first trailer because you guys have trained me well here at Blind Wave.
Well, especially like if you're gonna watch it,
Yeah.
then don't need to watch the rest.
So I didn't have to watch the rest. The only thing is, when you work for someone who works on YouTube, I get a lot of trailers, like all the ads on YouTube. So thankfully, Jake recently got YouTube Premium, but like I saw the spiral with the laser eyes. So I was spoiled on that, but still.
I don't think I saw that trailer then. I don't
It
remember.
was an ad spot.
I think we also kept the final trailer from you guys.
Yeah, we kept them from
And that was in the final trailer, I believe.
But that kept on showing. But I love that moment in the movie when he just did that and he's just going hardcore.
When all the Raptor guys showed up, and he was like, kill him. It's like, all right, sure, you know, you can try.
And they were all surrounding him, and he
spun on his own. I like this.
The spin, and then the laser eyes, and he's just smashing everything. Did you know one of the Raptors? I think it was one of the Raptors. Was voiced by Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
I saw that. I didn't know that until we got back and pulled it up on IMDb.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw I was looking in the credits because I was trying to see like who some people were and stuff, but like there were so many names and it went so fast too.
Yeah.
But I saw Michael Rosenbaum, like Michael Rosenbaum, who's he? And I saw like Raptor number 1 or whatever, and I was like, oh, cool. That's cool that he was like one of Lex's like guard dudes or whatever,
I didn't even
make
that connection.
If you don't know, he played Lex Luthor in Smallville.
Well, also Michael Rooker and Palm Clementoff were Superman robots 1 and 5 in the Fortress of Solitude.
Palm Clementoff.
Mantis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense then. Yeah, and I had seen Michael Rooker's name in there too.
Yeah.
And I knew Alan. I knew it was Alan in there.
Yeah, that one.
That's so obvious.
Alan doesn't have to like audition anymore. If it's a voice role, it's gonna be like Alan Tudyk in most of the time.
Yeah, if it's a robot.
Especially if it's a robot.
I wanted to see. There was another name, and I think he looks like he is, Christopher Reeve's son.
Yeah, the reporter. Yeah, I mentioned that to her.
And I was like, really?
Yeah, that's Christopher Reeve. Yeah, that's his youngest son, and he's a reporter in real life.
Really? Right there he is.
Yeah, I'd seen the name, and when I looked at his picture, I'm like, he looks like he's related to Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, he looks like his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
but yeah, he was like on the ground reporter or something like that.
And that got like spoiled or leaked that he was going to be in the movie.
Oh, really?
Like last year, because he was seen in they filmed in Cincinnati or
they filmed in Cleveland and Cincinnati and Atlanta.
Oh, wasn't the Hall of Justice in?
It's one of the museums.
I think it was in Cincinnati.
It's one of the museums.
Actually, no, it's probably in Cleveland, and it was probably But anyway, I know Cleveland has museums, but Cincinnati might too.
But yeah, when the kid raised the flag, but then Mr. Terrific called about the Rift. Which direction did you guys think Superman was going to go?
Once he called about the Rift, I figured he was going to go to the Rift over the war.
So
because like I think the war is important, but like the Rift was like real important.
It had a pocket dimension that was taking over the world.
Well, it was a rip in reality.
Yeah. Like you could lose the whole Earth.
Yeah.
Versus like the war might start.
And then we also know he already had a plan. For the war.
I didn't know he was going to call those guys out.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say is that's the one thing on the movie or the trailers that I figured out is I remember watching Guy do this and watching military vehicles fly away. And I was like, okay. It was kind of a gray sand, like not gray, but like a brown sandy area, and there's military vehicles.
Yeah, so you're being like, oh, you sent him there.
I was like, for a second, I was like, oh, but Superman's going to go to the flag and then he'll come back. But then I was like, oh, wait. The guy still needs to do his scene where he flips the trucks away. So I was like, okay, that's what we're going to do.
It kind of sucks that Superman didn't get to go there while they were like...
Where the kid was like, Superman!
Holding his flag up.
Yeah.
That one little kid, I looked over at Kanan, and that one kid's just like, Superman. And Kanan's like...
Oh, that's so cute.
Like, he was like... Because, like, we talked about it in, like, one of the last movie review, and he's like, little kid plot armor.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, God, what's going on?
Yeah, that little kid
and
might
as
not
he's
have
holding
plot
it,
armor.
you see the military coming that way while everyone else is running away.
And then we cut away and go just back to Superman.
With the kid. Yeah, but I was at that moment like, I hadn't seen that. Or if I had, I had forgotten it. And I'm with that little kid. I'm like, instead of saying Superman, I'm like, Guy, please, Guy, you can do this.
And we did see Guy like at a diner or whatever and drinking milk, and we showed
and cereal.
And we showed Hawkgirl at her apartment or whatever watching TV.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like they were moving yet, but then it was what? It was Superman's line to Lex of like, "I brought friends" or whatever.
Which did you think Metamorpho was going to be one of the friends?
No, that's the surprise.
I didn't think he was going to be there. No.
Yeah.
That surprised me a lot. Because I was like, I don't know where he went. But he's gone. He walked away.
But the way he held that baby during that anti-proton river thing.
Yeah.
Metamorpho was like,
sense.
Yeah, Metamorpho was like, I got you.
Yeah.
I'll go whatever you got, big guy, I got you.
I thought that was really cool. And no, I'd forgotten that Guy did that. I do think that whenever he did his first I was like, oh, that looks familiar.
Yeah.
But I had forgotten that was a thing, and he was like, oh, I'm going to send him. So I was like, that's cool.
I also like that it was extended from beyond what the trailer was.
Yeah.
You know?
Mel and I laughed at like the
middle fingers. Yeah, he was chuckling.
Yeah, and it was just one flick the guy did. You know?
But it was,
and
like,
it was
yeah, it was pretty cool.
But I think you could also see the change in Hawkgirl and Guy in that moment after it's done and everybody's coming to them to thank them. And you kind of see it, at least in Hawkgirl's face. I don't know about Guy, because he's hard to read. Well, no. But but you see the change of like, oh, we did good. This is good. And so maybe we'll see a difference there in the future.
Well, because they were looking for that after they beat the Lizard. But then that was when the Superman news dropped, too. Because he was like, hey, where's all the happy faces? Or whatever he said. And he turned around and was like,
Oh.
But we also got back to the Superman part of it, of the baseball diamond fight, which was really fun to watch him fight against Ultraman and the Engineer after Mr. Terrific was knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, where I was like, what is he going to do? You know, I was like, he should be all right with these two. I think so. And then they're like, oh, we're going to put nanites down his throat and suffocate him. And they're like, can he hold his breath for an hour? I was like, yeah, he's fine. Like,
not if the lungs are.
Yeah, not if the lungs are full of robots.
Yes.
So then when he takes off, I'm like, he's gonna go to the sun.
Yeah, I was like, is he gonna freeze him? You know, is that a thing that can happen? And then I was like, maybe re-entry gets all hot and we'll burn some robots away.
Yeah.
But he just kind of like sped back down to the surface like real fast.
Yeah, and it was just like, I have higher durability than her for sure.
Yeah. Well, and Lex also implied that like, you've encased him in the nano robots. Like, he is protected. You guys aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I get.
And she says
that
the
makes
line.
sense.
She's like, I won't survive this. Doesn't she say something like that?
Yeah, I don't.
We're going too fast. I can't hold on, or I won't survive. Or
I won't make this. In which you thought she had died.
I thought she had died.
You know, but,
until you guys told me.
But yeah, she did. Was just knocked out, and then we got the longer fight with Ultraman.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, was pretty cool, and we got to see Lex still keep the upper hand for a while, until we get the callback of Krypto coming with the
How cute was that moment when he's in the toy store, though? In
Yeah,
the doggy store?
He heard the whistle and he's destroyed the toy store for all the toys. Krypto, get the toys.
No one's gonna notice right now.
Yeah.
They're gonna come back. There's tons of buildings.
Yeah,
destroyed.
it's all messed up.
Hey, there was a terrible rift, and I need a new store. And call your insurance.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a pretty guaranteed insurance claim that you're gonna get.
Be fine.
So that dog shop's pretty good.
But no, I liked him coming back in there. That one scene hurt so bad whenever he was he had a broken shoulder or popped out shoulder,
and he
pulled it even more to throw Ultraman into the
bus.
The bus that took him to the black hole. I was like, oh damn, that was really good though. I liked it.
It was good.
And I love that Mr. Terrific's hey, you don't got time to be messing around. He's like, I'm doing, and that's maybe one of the times where I was man, Clark can be funny. He's yeah, I'm doing really important stuff here. He just lays back down.
Important stuff.
Doing important stuff.
What'd you guys think of? Do you guys know much about Eve Teschmacher or any of that kind of stuff?
Not a lot.
She's kind of very similar to I think most Teschmachers, but a little bit more modernized, I suppose, because she's kind of just really usually in love with Lex and kind of she doesn't usually seem to be the brightest sometimes, but she's kind of usually just more of a secretary for him, willing to do whatever he wants. And this one
Supergirl, right?
she wasn't Supergirl, yeah. She wasn't quite as much in that as she was in Christopher Reeves with Gene Hackman. In that one, she was just kind of yeah, Mr. Luthor, hang on one second, Mr. Luthor, whatever you need, Mr. Luthor. And in this one here, she's a social media taking selfies all the time. First scene, what the heck?
Yeah,
why is she doing this?
Well,
and I was
because
she wants Ultraman stuff in the background or whatever.
Well, and that's when I'm why are these people so calm? And she's just sitting there taking selfies while the hammer Boravia.
I'm shouldn't you guys be running?
Yeah, run away. And then we get their thing. But
I didn't realize that character was Eve Teschmacher.
They called her
Eve.
Not
realize
they just called her Eve.
They called her Eve most of the movie. I don't know if they really called her Teschmacher.
I don't think so.
I did not realize.
Because in Jimmy's phone, it was something about her toes.
Yeah, mutant toes.
Yeah, mutant toes. Which Jimmy. But also, it's hilarious that that's his inside source and that's who's feeding him information.
Once the text came through, and he was I can't tell you who my source is, and I was it's gotta be Eve, right? That's gotta be who it is.
They didn't even make that connection.
See, I'm more familiar with Mercy as
Mercy is Lex's
secretary, limo driver, but also sometimes cyborg.
Yeah, it depends.
Thing.
Sometimes she's just a real good fighter. Sometimes she has bionics or is a robot or I don't know. It's
so
weird.
I'm more familiar, or at least right now I remember her more. I'm sure I've seen Teschmacher or Eve more when I was younger, but the stuff that I've seen more recently was more Mercy, which Mercy kind of, I think she was a character that was invented for the Superman animated series.
That's probably true. Yeah, I don't know.
Which is, and then she's in.
She's been in other versions.
Yeah, other versions and stuff like that. And I think she might have been in some of the Justice League show, that I'm pretty familiar with. I've seen that one 2 or 3 times.
This makes me see Eve in a different light now. I'm re-seeing some scenes in my head right now.
But it also showed that Eve is, as long as you think that it was intentional, was much smarter than what she let on in that.
Well, yeah, because she had the sexy selfies, right?
Yeah.
Where, whenever they showed the one, I'm oh damn, she took pictures of the map in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But then there was one where she was laying on a table and
and there's
papers under her and stuff, and I was all right, maybe it's not quite as, I don't know.
But they were in shot perfectly contracts or whatever documents it was.
Well, yeah, I thought at first, I was oh, she just got lucky on the map one and that's what they're going to use. But then, and I think this is a really good chance, they got to show Jimmy and Lois being journalists, in that he has, they both have contacts and inside sources. Lois had the general that was in the Pentagon, that she was able to call. And Jimmy's oh, I know how to get information about where Superman is from Lex. And then it paid off in that she was able to send him the stuff. But he didn't understand what he had yet.
Mm-hmm. He's
Eve.
And there were so many.
Yeah, and Lois was
many.
Lois was the one that clocked it, and that's what put it all together. That ultimately kind of is the thing that won the the movie is those two, putting together their
and it felt
information.
like maybe she knew about like ex-girlfriend things and like maybe didn't want to be in the situation, but she was like, I need some stuff to like maybe protect myself.
I think she said that. I think she said something about like
on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, in the alleyway.
In the alleyway too.
She said about it.
Yeah, of like, I don't want to disappear like his ex-girlfriends, or she might have said in the pocket dimension.
Yeah, something like that.
But again, the thing that like they established early with the girls like being silly about Jimmy is, for some reason, the dude just
he's got it. He has got it.
The way she jumped on him at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like I was like, like legs, arms, everything. I was like, dang.
When they were making the deal while she's hiding away, and she's like, I want a weekend with you. He's like, okay, like how long? And she's like, the weekend. And he's like, the whole weekend.
And it's like, Jimmy, priorities. We've got stuff going on. Superman's at that point was he fighting in Metropolis? Or was it right before that? Because that was right before the rift got to them.
Yeah.
But I also love that like all this dangerous stuff's happening, and Perry's just like smoking his cigar of like, give me your thing.
Pitch it.
Does not give a shit.
What we got next? Yeah, but then he's like, Lois, you got that terrific ship on top of the planet.
Yeah, like
he's like, yeah, all right.
How many can it hold? You. Let's go.
Yeah. Like,
everyone else, good luck.
He is like, he had so little screen time, but it was so Perry White, so fast and so effectively that he's just calm in the situation. He's seasoned, done this. He's lived in Metropolis for so long.
And he has that moment too at the end where he's like, how long have they been hooking up?
I know.
Whenever they were like, oh, we can talk over here, all right? He like gave a look, and I'm like, is that a look of him knowing? I was like, I wonder if he knows. And then they just came out and said that.
Yeah, and Jimmy's like, I think it's about been like 3 months.
3 months. Meanwhile, like before, they were like talking about how good they were like back and forth against Clark and Lois and stuff, which maybe that part's working, but they know Lois has been with
Superman.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's so good. And the fact that they were able to put it all together and post it, and Lex got exactly what he did to Superman done to him, except for he didn't do it through bot farms. It was through true journalism and journalists coming out and, standing up to the billionaire,
Oh, and how I think that I know Kanan liked the movie is that almost every time that there is like at one point, like, they'll be kissing, whatever, and he's like, oh, man, whatever, and stuff. But when they got to the end, and it was, like, in the one thing, and, like, they kissed when they finally got back together and stuff, and then they started floating in the air and stuff, Kanan was just watching. He wasn't like, oh, man, they're kissing again. He's always like, God, like, Mom, Dad quit, or, like, oh, it's on the movie, ooh, and this thing, he's just, like watching and stuff, too. I thought it was funny.
One of the better Superman and Lois kisses.
Yeah.
For sure.
I also like Krypto eating Lex.
Yeah, like attacking Lex. And
but he did it after Lex was coming at him, and he did one of these things to Superman, and Krypto was like, nope.
Yeah.
And he jumped. I'm like, oh, man. I think it was like he was taken as like, you're attacking my dude,
Yeah, and Krypto might be kind of liking him a little, going to like him a little more, because...
Yeah, well, I didn't know he wasn't his dog at that point.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, I knew that in a lot of times that Krypto is Kara's dog. But normally Krypto is not, as far as I know, Krypto's not a bad dog like this.
Not a bad dog. He's energetic.
He has
Superman literally said he's a bad dog.
No.
But he's alone
He
and
said
he's probably
behavioral
scared.
issues.
No. He's kind of a bad dog. He said he's kind of a bad dog.
Kinda is the word we should focus on.
Look, if Superman says he's kind of a bad dog, that means he's probably a bad dog. Because Superman's going to be kind about the issue. Which I did, like, even knowing that Krypto tends to be Supergirl's dog, I did not expect to see
Kara at the end.
Which is Millie Alcock. Which,
Melanie was like, oh, and I was like, she looks kind of familiar, I can't place it. And then she was like, it's Rhaenyra. And I was like, from what? From the Game of Thrones show, the one with dragons. Like, okay. But because she was like, oh, she's on that show I was watching, so she'd seen her in Sirens.
Oh yeah, she was in Sirens.
So I thought when she was saying who she was, I'm like, from what show? What are you talking about? What show did you see her in? But she was talking about that, and I was like, oh, okay. Which I did not place. Like I was like, familiar. I can't tell who Kara is. And then most of the time being attacked by a dog and then walked away.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get another good look either. So
Which like, her being a party girl right now makes me interested in what they're going to do with the Kara movie, the Supergirl movie.
Is there one that's going to be coming? Because I'm sure they're going to use her then if she's there, you know?
Well, she was cast in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things
That's why I didn't think she would be in this one, because she's already cast. They've already teased it. They've done like promotional art or whatever with her in it. And they've had her in the chair where it says Kara on it. So I'm like, they're not going to... It never even crossed my mind she was going to be in this movie. And when Gary said, oh, your cousin's here, I was like, oh, Jake, she's here. And she comes in and it's Millie. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Kara.
But we're probably going to get a very different Supergirl than like what we got with CW Supergirl. You know, because like she's off on red planets partying
to get drunk.
Yeah, so she could get
I thought
drunk.
it was funny.
Yeah, I love that.
We can't get drunk here.
Her playing with Krypto was amazing.
Well,
There's Krypto playing with her.
Yeah.
And then Clark talking to Gary about like, this is no wonder he's like this. They shouldn't be doing this. This is bad.
Look at this. No boundaries.
No boundaries.
Yeah, that was great.
Which I loved Gary's name, getting his name. You know, where he's like, I'd like to be something other than Superbot 4. And he's like, well, 4 is a name. He's like, Gary is also a good name. He's like, okay, Gary. Like, I guess if the first name you come up with is probably the one that, like, sounds the best to you, I guess. Mm-hmm. You know, so might as well give him that name.
I also think Gary cares more than he lets on.
Yeah.
Because there was that comment about Supergirl of, like, well, maybe someone should care about what she's going through right now.
What was this? Like, if I had any emotional connections, I would, you know, say something about this or something like that. Where it's like, I am not going to say something about this, but I'm going to say something about me, not saying something about this.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And then
and
we
the
had
fact that he always, Gary, like, always, like, watching his parents calms him down. Like, it's a theme throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. But why would you care? Why would you care? Unless it's to calm down a patient so he's not rowdy. But Superman doesn't seem like a rowdy type.
Well,
it did seem like it hurt with the magnifying glass, though.
Yeah.
True.
Gary is there to, like, serve and take care of Superman, and, like, making sure he's taken care of makes sense. But I also agree that there's probably more humanity there than Gary lets on, you know. So.
Yeah.
But then we had 2 after credit scenes. One was just the cute him on the moon with Krypto.
Yeah.
So he stole Kara's dog.
It could have been before while he was watching.
She could have left again. You know?
It could have also. It didn't have to be after. It could have been before all this.
Maybe.
I also love that she just, here, take care of my dog.
Well, he's the only one who can because he's a super dog.
That's true.
Which Lex gave him.
He couldn't leave him at Ma and Pa's farm because he'd eat the cows.
That's true.
And Lex cooked up connections so that he was chasing super.
Like imaginary squirrels or whatever, yeah.
Yeah,
So they'd
and
be
like
flying
the
through the air.
suspended bubble.
Yeah.
And
then he played with the monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing with the monkeys after they got out of the prison. I do like how this movie kind of like sets the level of technology and like where superhero status quo. Because I think, and I'm not like critical of this, but like the original Iron Man for the MCU, you're kind of like, oh, this is the first superhero feeling in that, and you kind of have an idea of like what the technology is, and it changes very fast. And then you're like, oh, there's been heroes in the past, and like, if you go back with a really critical eye of Iron Man, it kind of like you're like, the world building was not here and ready, which they didn't know the MCU was going to do what it did, but he can look at those examples and go, I need to leave this open a little more. So we have 300 years of metahumans in the history of this world that he can put movies in the past in period pieces, which I think, and I didn't catch this, but I was on Discord a little bit before we did the review while you were coming here. I guess in the Hall of Justice, there was a mural of one of maybe the other Justice, like the Justice Society. So that we might have had... Well, no, the actual Justice
the Justice Society, the Justice League, and I guess the Justice Gang. I think there might be one more.
So there was, I believe there was a mural in the background of that building of an older superhero group. So we could get a previous, a period piece of like the 40s of the Justice Society fighting, you know, in World War II. We can go back even further for 300 years, but we also have like much more advanced tech that we can play around with. Like we've set up where we are a little better than like the MCU before the MCU knew what it was.
Sure. I mean, even Creature Commandos set up GI Robot back in World War II.
Yeah.
You know, so like, that's a character that we have that was alive back then too. You know.
Well, same with Frankenstein's bride.
Yeah.
You know, because she's, I forget how old she was in that show, but she's, you know,
Pretty old.
70, over 100 maybe.
She's pretty old. Yeah. Still looks good, but she's pretty old, you know. Like,
well, it also helps when you're voiced by Indira.
Oh yeah, sure.
Varna.
And I don't know how. I don't think they age because they're dead.
Yeah.
Or undead or whatever. It's like, oh man. But no, I think the oh shoot. Nope, I lost where we just were. I ruined it.
We were talking about like the world building of this and like setting it up for like having chances of using different time periods a little more and like the level of technology we're at.
With them having that metahuman thing in the beginning and having the end with the Flag and the other general dude or whatever who was like, you said you weren't worried about metahumans? Well, they're going to rule things now. Like, I am curious on like where we go with some of the stuff with like the metahumans and if you can go back and be like, well, here's all the ones we've had established or in the future of it, here's the ones to come. Yeah. Like, I don't know how big of a problem it can be or will be, but just we're going to that world where metahumans will get, I guess, going to be more prevalent.
Yeah. And you just don't know if they're good or bad. They could be.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Creature Commandos kind of covered a similar idea with that, too, a little bit.
Where there's, you know, some of them are pretty bad, but they can be used for good, or they can,
or they're
very
assumed
Suicide
to be
Squad-y.
bad.
Yeah.
And, like, you know what? They're not really that bad of a person.
Yeah,
you know?
they just had bad circumstances or...
Like, I really like what they did with Weasel in that.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, because I'm like, I don't know what this thing is.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like a weasel. I haven't seen it. I need to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this Superman movie, and to a lesser degree, Creature Commandos and Peacemaker make me very, very confident in that I think we're going to have a very strong DC universe.
I'm looking forward to the integration of the characters in live action and animation. Like, David Harbour's the voice of the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing him as a Frankenstein monster in live action at some point.
Hopefully.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, he was Hellboy at one point, right?
Yeah.
I never saw that one, but he was. So it'd be cool to see him. I've seen him as Red Guardian. Yeah. He does a good job there, you know?
Well, we got the one time with Rick Flag. He just didn't have much to do in this. But it is nice to have that.
That's the first one we have of like he was in animation and now he's in live action, but it's the same actor playing both.
Frank Grillo, I believe.
Yeah,
it is Frank
Crossbones
Grillo.
from
Crossbones. Yeah,
from Marvel.
He's in both universes.
Well, so is David Harbour.
So is David Harbour, and so is Bradley Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Who's David Harbour?
David Harbour's Red Guardian.
Yeah.
No.
Frankenstein.
He's Frankenstein.
Oh,
he wasn't in the
I didn't see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Creature Commander one.
Yeah.
But
he's Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah. Which yes. Yeah. Which we're gonna get Peacemaker soon. In August next month, season 2. So we'll get another idea of like where this DC world is gonna be, what it's gonna be tackling and heading. I know that James Gunn has talked about he wants to make these movies feel very different in tone and genre kind of thing. Which is going to be very interesting.
I hope that works out because I have wanted like with the MCU and like all the different kind of characters and stuff you can do. I'm like, man, I'd love to have like horror and like maybe this one's more comedy, maybe this one's more action, or maybe this one's the spy. Like I loved when they were like Captain America movies would be like a little bit more spy thriller than they would like when Guardians came out and it was a very different thing.
And then we had
That's why I really like the Disney Plus shows because you had the horror movie, the Werewolf
by Night, the special.
Werewolf by Night.
Which I think that was really good.
Moon Knight I just really love Moon Knight, so I had to say it, but I just felt they were like different.
Yeah, they had different feels about them, right? So, yeah, I hope in DC, like I still hope Marvel does it too, but I hope like with this they do that too, because like you can take some characters from DC and make it much more scary, you know? Or maybe make more of a comedy that's still in the DC universe too, with some characters.
Or like do some kind of genre that we don't expect.
Yeah.
You know, like do
a rom-com.
You do a rom-com or do like an older period piece.
Hawk Man trying to find Hawk Girl, and they need to get together
and make some hawks.
Like we already have an announced Lanterns show, which I think Nathan Fillion is going to be in, which you could do like a buddy cop kind of thing, you know, with lanterns going across, you know, the universe doing stuff.
It's kind of like that What If. I don't know if you guys watched What If or not, but there was one What If that had like Bucky and Red Guardian together, like for the whole episode, and like it was a very kind of buddy cop fun thing.
Which I don't know. Did you guys watch? What was the Netflix show with Aaron Pierre?
No, they didn't see that.
They didn't see that.
No.
Okay.
But I know show.
Movie, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on it. The really good one from where he was in the South.
Yeah. Let me search it real quick.
Aaron Pierre. Which one's Aaron Pierre?
He was in Lion King. He was Mufasa.
Yeah.
He's the
voice of the new Mufasa.
That's great. I can't picture him.
That's the only thing I think
that's the only thing.
Dang. Okay.
It's just.
I love Mufasa.
Which he has been cast as one of the Green Lantern. He's cast as Hal. Okay. Hal Jordan.
So the movie was called Rebel Ridge.
Rebel Ridge.
And it was a real fun Netflix movie. And Aaron Pierre is great to watch.
She means good to look at.
Great to watch as an actor.
He's cast as Hal or as John?
John, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say Jon Stewart more traditionally.
Yeah.
Usually.
No, he's cast as John Stewart. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
my Green Lantern wires just get crossed.
I think Nathan Fillion in the animation or the DC animation voiced Hal Jordan.
He did.
Oh, that's cool.
He did in.
But now he's Guy Gardner.
He did in Flashpoint, I think. And
I think another one that was a few.
The first Doom movie, or not Doom, but Darkseid, the War one.
Right. Yeah.
Justice League War. I'm pretty sure Nathan Fillion was
when Flash got punched a whole bunch.
Yeah.
By parademons.
Oh, this is.
It was one of my favorite little things. Is like. You see Flash like hit a wall and land, and he's like, oh, and then like 5 parademons come over.
But he also did the same thing to Darkseid, because he gave him acupuncture in the back.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'm like I said earlier with Edi Gatheri's Mr. Terrific getting such a cool spotlight. I'm hoping we get some more of the characters that don't necessarily get the spotlight in DC, because you always get the big trio. You know, you get
Batman,
Superman, and then Wonder Woman to a lesser degree and a lot of stuff. But I believe I'm pretty sure there's a Wonder Woman movie confirmed. Batman's not sure yet.
I heard that Grant Gustin said he would come back to be the Flash, and I was like, "Ooh, I'd do that."
There's some internet rumblings about the Grant Gustin.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, he knows
he's great as Barry. He's amazing.
And like,
Barry.
you don't have to make him the same.
Yeah.
Just make him Flash. Yeah. Just have him be Flash.
Whatever, and like give him a great script, and I think he's gonna crush it.
He's so good.
Like, because Flash kind of like fell apart after a little bit.
There's definitely like even the last season of Flash, like there was a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, if the last few episodes are just like this episode, it's gonna be great. And they weren't. I'm like, dang, I should have ended at that episode. Because that episode I was on such a high, and I think that could have wrapped it all up. I'd have been happy.
But what did you think of the aesthetic of the movie?
The aesthetic of the movie?
Yeah.
Like how everything looked and felt, and I think everything was pretty good. There was the theme I think was good for me. I don't have an issue with them using like the John Williams theme for Superman and stuff, and I think they changed it up a little bit, or like they kind of like extend it, like kind of it's a little bit more drawn out as opposed to being like the ba 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 ba.
Yeah, and they also used it like sometimes very quietly, you know, and very, very subtly in the back.
You know what it reminded me is in CW they would do the themes and they would do different, like different
sections of them.
Well, but make it like a whole new theme, but different sounding for a different moment. And like CW was so great at using themes that way.
Bear McCreary, I think. But
Bear did music for them for a while.
I think it's Bear, or they started or whatever. I don't know. It's in my head. I don't know why. But they'd also like combine themes and stuff
that was so good when they did it.
Sometimes they bring Flash and Arrow together and do something like that. It was just really cool. So
it was one of the things. I'm sorry. It was one of the things I missed about the MCU, because they would have the Avengers theme, but they didn't have the CW theme of like who's Avengers real quick? Like Iron Man and Black Widow coming together and they did that a lot.
I think that's one of the big complaints of the MCU is like lack of really good themes for characters.
They've been kind of pulling away from it more than they were in the original.
Which Bucky got a great theme in Thunderbolts.
That's such a good theme.
So hopefully they're going back to that. Well, I really love the colors in this. I thought it was very bright. It was very
bright.
Very very contrasty.
Even the night scenes that I can think of, like had like the jellyfish in the background that was still like neon and bright in the back and stuff like that. That would draw your eye. But they'd like go back and forth to it and stuff too, which is really good.
It was like very comic booky, very Saturday morning cartoony in terms of like the colors. I think they did a really good job with picking locations like Cleveland and Cincinnati for like some of the building styles. And like the architecture of like the Art Deco look of things, because I think it works really well.
The more I think about it, the more I think it's not. And there's another name I'm trying to get to, and I can't think of what it is, and it's stuck in my head. But I'm trying to listen to Jake too at the same time.
It's fine.
It's not Blake, is it?
No, you're close. Yeah. Composer was Blake Neely.
Blake Neely.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm like, I swear I started with the B.
You had me with Bear, and then I was like, wait, let me double check.
I was like, it's a B. It's just right there.
Bear did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I saw that in there.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they do Walking Dead?
Yes.
Is that right?
At least he did the theme. That's why he's so good.
Am I allowed to complain a little about his logo?
Yeah, you don't like the logo?
It's just a weird shape. I don't know. Whenever it showed it, like it was like at the end or whatever, I'm like, it's kind of weird. I guess it's kind of like here and then like this. I don't know. There's something about it that's kind of weird for me.
I believe that's the Kingdom Come logo that I'm trying to remember what color.
It doesn't feel like it has like this part. It's this is like the logo it has.
It's a very specific logo, and I know that there was some. It's not the same as this at all.
The Kingdom Come, like that's the one. You watched Arrowverse, right, Joella?
Yes.
Brandon Ruth wore it.
Yes.
I think the logo's usually like a darker red.
Brandon Ruth is also a good Superman.
He just unfortunately got a...
Yeah, he was good in the CW.
He got a rough written.
Yeah, it is much more the Kingdom Come like logo style there.
Yeah.
Where it uses like the bottom of the diamond as part of the S. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. Like everything...
Yeah.
There's Brandon Ruth.
But
yeah, you're right.
Besides that, I think his suit was fantastic, though.
Yeah, I like this suit. There's Kingdom Come.
I saw it. I saw this. Yeah, it's red and black a lot of the times, which they change the colors of this. But
they have like the traditional color kind of thing, but it was only at the towards the end I was like, it doesn't really have the bottom of the S, and I was like, does that bother me? And that's why I was like, can I complain about this? Yes. I don't know. It's not like a huge thing. I'm like, now I hate him. You know?
I think I've seen kind of weird. I think I've seen some complaints about choosing the Kingdom Come logo for this Superman, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I think this is probably better.
What's wrong with this one?
Yeah, it's also, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a complaint.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as far as complaints go, it's itty tiny.
Yeah.
Which is most of my complaints of this movie, like the flip, the one
weird.
The one CGI that artistically I didn't like was when he came up with Krypto and punched the one raptor guy, and his teeth flew out. I was just like, it looks too plasticky, CGI-y in this. I think it's just an artistic choice to show it, but I didn't enjoy it. I would prefer other things. And the laser, him spinning laser, I think maybe it was too fast.
Oh, I love that.
It was cool, and I like the idea, but something in the execution of the way it looked.
Yeah. It has to be fast, because if it's not too fast, he's going to laser wrong things that are too far away, because he's going to keep going.
And I think he was also doing it really fast, so he only cut so deep on the
because when he first did the scene, I was like, oh, they're all dead.
Yeah.
But then they all fall on the ground.
They were falling like flies or something like that.
And
then they were getting up.
Yeah.
So my guess would be he did it fast enough to where his laser eye just only cut through the armor and not cut through them. Well, there's something about it visually kind of was like a weird little thing, but 99% of the movie looked great in my opinion.
Well, the reason I brought up the aesthetic was because how'd you like the suit?
Yeah, no, I think the suit looked really good.
Other than the S.
The S is a little weird,
Yeah.
but I think the rest of it was really good.
I love how bright it was. I was watching an interview with David recently, and I believe it was with, Koi? I think it might have been. And he was talking about how, like, Gunn really wanted to do the, what do you call them?
The trunks?
The trunks.
Yeah.
But he couldn't find a utility for it. And, like, they tried to find a utility, and you can see that there's no really utility for it. And he was like, well, I just told him, why? Why does it matter? Like, Superman doesn't care. What he cares about is that kids can come up to him and feel comfortable with him, which we see at the end of the movie, and I love that.
So put the underwear on the outside.
Put on the underwear on the outside. And I don't know where this quote came from, and I said I was going to research it before I came here, so I didn't. So hopefully one of you guys can tell us in the comments that what he wanted was that a child could draw Superman with a crayon. And I think that fits the theme of this movie so well, of Superman being for the humans, for the children, of like, he took the time to notice kids how many times in this movie and to acknowledge them, and like they ran up to him, forget guy and hot girl, but they came up to him and thanked him because he felt welcoming, because he's these bright colors, these kid colors.
Yeah, he's
So
like
I
all
love that.
red and blue except for the little bit of yellow up here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like red boots, blue.
Yeah.
Red underwear, blue. You know, red cape. I mean, like, yeah, that'd be easy to draw with just your general colors. Yeah.
And with all the human movies that we've been getting, superhero movies, they've been doing this like darker color and trying to make it more realistic, and it's losing the nostalgia and the wonder and the beauty of like finding this hope.
Well, that's one of the things that I really like about the Fantastic Four trailers is their suits are very silly. They're not like tactical and makes sense. It looks like cloth, you know, like it's blue and then it has the big white up here, you know, in the trailers. And I'm just like, it makes no sense in the real world, but it's a superhero movie. I don't care. I just want it to look fun.
Yeah.
And I think this suit looked really fun and interesting. Like, I loved how his cape attached at his shoulders, and like, I just really like everything about it other than the S. You know, I really like the way that the sleeves fit on his arm. Like, they're farther up his arm, like kind of like the suit was in the New 52, and like kind of the same with the neckline. And I feel the same way with like Guy and Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific, which their suits are more like.
Mr. Terrific stands out for me a lot.
Yeah.
I liked his a lot. I don't know if I like Guy's. I'm not sure yet.
Well, Guy's supposed to look kind of dumb. You know, Guy looks like he always kind of looks silly. But I like how they made it work. I think the thing that stands out with Mr. Terrific is his jacket.
Sure, which I'm glad he has.
His jacket was so cool. Yeah. I hope he got to keep that jacket.
Reassure me, Mr. Terrific was an Arrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
But he was Mr. Terrific,
Echo
right?
Kellum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Kellum. Echo Kellum. Yeah. Which I think he was really good.
I enjoyed him.
Curtis.
Curtis.
Is that his name?
I think he's Curtis in that. Mr. Terrific is it always Curtis? I don't remember.
I don't know. I feel like his name was Curtis in Arrow.
I believe so.
I remember the actor was named Echo Kellum. And I remember that because every time I see him in Rick and Morty, I'm like, hey.
Who is he in Rick and Morty?
He just does voices in it. I don't know if he's anyone specific, but he voices in Rick and Morty a lot. Because I see Echo Kellum. I'm like, Echo Kellum, I know that name.
Curtis Holt. I mean, Curtis Holt.
Curtis Holt.
Holt is the name I recognize from Mr. Terrific, not Curtis. Just, I don't know, it just doesn't ring a bell. But I do remember Holt.
So I just love that that Gunn took this care, even though he struggled with it seems, to make it so colorful.
Yeah. No, I think, I don't really have a lot of issues with the movie. I think it covers a lot of things really well, touches on things that, like, Superman can't just punch all the time, you know, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always leave things with, like, here's the answer. Like, one of my favorite seasons of Supergirl was in seasons 4, covers a lot of alienist, racist kind of, like, topics. And it's like, well, Kara, you can't just go and punch away racism, you know? And this kind of touches on that same thing because of him being not human.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can't trust him. We don't know where he's from. He's not one of us. So yeah, it touches on that same kind of theme a lot, and it's like, what do I do? And he loses himself in the same sense. Like, he doesn't know who he is either, as much as they don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And he has to just kind of like, he goes back to the farm and he figures out who he is again from his parents, and then goes back out to, like, after watching people be like, no, we need Superman, and like mom being like, let me get your boots.
Yeah.
So no, I really enjoyed like the general story of that. I'm glad that there wasn't too much that was gonna be, you know, I thought Spider-Man 3 started throwing too much stuff at the end of the movie, where it started to like, man, you could have had a nice solid ending and then bring this into the Spider-Man 4, but you didn't do that.
Yeah, they
like,
rushed it.
Yeah.
And I think
I feel like Justice League also had some similar things where I'm like, I don't really feel connected to like half the members of the Justice League, and I really only feel connected to like 2 or maybe 3 of the members of the Justice League. And
I can't even put my finger on, because like this introduced so many more characters than like even BVS did, which is our first thing with Wonder Woman and Batman, and that was really the only, I guess, Lex. But like we got Lex, we've got Ultraman, we got the Engineer, we've got Superman. Yeah. We've literally everyone.
Everybody in this movie is someone new.
And there's a bunch of them.
But like the Justice Gang, right? Justice sounds wrong.
Justice Gang.
Justice Gang.
That's
sounds
why.
So wrong.
That's why we didn't vote on it.
But like, they're there and they show up to help and stuff. But it's kind of like filling the world without them having to be super important for this movie.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like Suicide Squad, like, was another one that had to focus on a lot of people, like the original one. But like, you didn't really get a lot of focus on some of them, and it just like, I don't know, like you're following all of them. Where here, like, you're meant to follow Superman.
Yeah.
But there's other characters in the world, and it feels lived in and full, and there's like history you don't fully know yet.
Yeah.
That will probably get to it, as opposed to feeling like, oh, well, I need to know Guy, and I need to know Hawkgirl, and I need to know, you know, like, I don't need to know all them.
Yeah.
Even Superman doesn't really know who he is right now, and that's the crux of this movie. And I think it played out real well.
Well, and I think picking which characters are going to be the ones that fill in the world is really important, and he picked really well, because like it's very easy to get the archetype of Guy, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific in very small amounts.
Yeah. Because
they're very archetypal, they're very big personalities.
You get Mr. Terrific being like, I don't do emotion.
Yeah.
You know, okay. You know, Guy Gardner, you meet him like the first time, you get his ego and who he is like right away.
So yeah, I think like they're just like you said, lived in, make the world feel lived in without bogging the movie down with, okay, why do we have Sandman and Venom and the new Green Goblin? It's too much. They're all the focus. Like, they're not the focus at all. They're just fill. But it's really good fill.
Yeah. And then maybe I'll like Lex more next time.
Hopefully.
I honestly, I don't think you need to. I think it'd be all right if he's just a piece of shit the whole time.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
But I could see him coming and being like, Superman has a problem again. He can't punch through. But he can... If somebody's smart enough, we can think through it. And he has to go to Lex, and Lex is like, well, if I don't, all humans are going to die. And we might get some humanizing stuff with him there, or backstory with... Because we did change it to Luthor Corp instead of Lex Corp. And I know James Gunn said that, like, most people don't name their companies after their first name. So that maybe we can, like, have some stuff like Smallville, where we have Lex's dad, and he inherits the company. So maybe we have some history there and get some backstory of why he's got this massive ego, and he's so insecure that he has to kill this other person, you know? Because that's something that the movie and we didn't touch on, is that ego comes from insecurity. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we touched on a little bit where we're like, whether he wants to be a king, or he doesn't feel like this guy's safe for humanity, or, it's going to be a danger to him or to humans as a whole, or, whatever it is. But I don't know I just know he really wants to kill him.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if I know why.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what you're going to feel like when you watch with the other two.
Yeah. Oh, and just, getting a chance to see it again, too. Maybe that's hit different or hit different.
Yeah, just a second watch where you can, like, really dive in, and, like, you don't have to try and feel like you're keeping up with everything as much, you can kind of really like deep dive into that, and then maybe talking with them and see what they think.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how that reaction is going to go. I'm really excited for it.
Me too.
I think they're both going to really like it, especially Eric.
Yeah. No, I hope so. Which, guys, we should have a reaction whenever this hits streaming, which is probably going to be some months away. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out whenever we get to that point. And I don't know if we have other DC like shows coming out. I think Peacemaker is the next one, so that's coming sometime soon.
I think they're going to do a couple shows a year and a movie or two a year is what I saw. Like one animated show and like 1 or 2 live action shows, and then a movie or two a year.
Okay.
Once they get like the ball rolling.
Gotcha. Well, did you guys have anything else on Superman that we didn't get to say or didn't cover or anything, or?
I thought this was going to be a hard sell for me because I am a Henry Cavill fan. I was so sad when the news broke out that he was no longer going to be our Superman. And this is before I fell in love with Tyler as Superman.
Yeah.
But like Henry, so good. And I love Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is a great movie. This is like almost the opposite. Almost like, can I say that?
Like in the feel and like the way it plays out.
In the feel,
and stuff,
I just feel so more hopeful with this movie, even though I was bawling and crying because it's so close to home for me right now. The hope that it showcases in this film, that Superman still sees the good in everybody, that wants to talk to everybody, and wants to help a squirrel and a kaiju that's like throwing a tantrum in the middle of town.
Yeah. I did like that. I think it was Lois who said it, right? Where she's like, I don't trust anybody,
and you trust everybody.
And that's how I know that you are not, like, you're not this.
Yeah.
You're not punk rock. And he said, maybe that is what punk rock. Maybe me trusting it, finding the good in everybody is punk rock.
Yeah.
She's like, oh. But I think, like, I just love it. I love the hope. I love the message. I know I needed this right now.
Yeah. No, I think it has a good message. And I think it's interesting because, like, I think Man of Steel is somehow like more like grounded.
Yeah.
Whereas this kind of isn't. It kind of goes a little bit crazier with things, but it works as well with
and
it.
And yet it felt more realistic. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like how topical it is in the moment in the world, and the themes are kind of endless, like timeless themes that we as people have to deal with. Of all of the stuff that it talked about, the class, the classism, the racism, the making people feel like others, these like how bad wars are and how they're started for, what real reasons they're started for and why they're fought, and what you need to do to get out of those, and the hope and the taking one step forward, and that's all you can do, being everything that it covers. Those messages are never gonna, unfortunately, not be needed, probably. And I don't think Man of Steel approached many of those things, No, I don't think it did. The story it and like BVS cover is not the same kind of themes and stuff that like this one's hitting on. Yeah.
I mean, like I hated the president being like, we need to go and save those people from a terrible like leader, like the bad the regime that they have over there. But then like, all right, guys, we must spill their blood. And I was like, but why not? What happened to what you were saying, you liar? But I mean, we saw him working with Lex and Abby, and but
I shouldn't say that.
Film is important.
Yeah,
and this
it
one,
is.
This one felt important to me.
Yeah, I think it was. No, I think we all enjoyed this movie, and I hope you guys did too. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about it, and if you have other movies that are coming out in theaters you want us to check out, let us know. We're trying to do some more of these so that we can also hit on, we still are trying to get reactions that we normally do, but it's always been fun to go to the movie theater and be able to give some reviews and thoughts while they're still in theaters. Plus, I think we like theater experiences too. So.
We do.
So, anything else, guys?
No. It's also very late, so I need to start heading home.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this review. Let us know what your thoughts were on Superman down in the comments below, and also let us know what other movies you'd like us to check out. There's quite a few still coming out this year, and we might might have some groupings that can do reviews, or Jake and Baba that might want to do reviews, or mix around whoever that's interested in going to the movie theater. But hopefully you can still get some reactions for you guys too. So make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.